2-2 now. The pitch to O'Hoppe. Swung on and missed. Strike three. Back-to-back Ks for Miller to finish a 1-2-3 ninth inning. His 8th save of the year. The Padres have won 5 straight series as they take 2 out of 3 in Anaheim with a 2-1 victory here this afternoon.
Let the good times roll, everybody. Welcome into Gwynn and Chris. It is a Monday. We kick off another week, and hopefully this is as good as the last couple have been for the home baseball team. Padres take 2 of 3, as Jesse mentioned there, from the Halos. Had to work a little bit for it yesterday. I don't know. You're expecting one pitcher, and then all of a sudden they bring some guy up from AAA, and you're like, I don't know anything about this guy. And frankly, the kid Urania had some pretty good stuff. I mean, that sinker was diving, and it took a while for the Padres. Actually, I don't think they ever really solved him. They just picked up a couple of scratch for a couple of runs, and that was all they needed with Michael King getting it done a day after German Marquez got it done. And I'm sorry, but if you get a lead in the 8th inning now, it is game time. Mason Miller, Jesse almost – I don't know how Jesse can keep calling these strikeouts and try to make them sound better than the next, because he's now struck out 27 of the 38 hitters he's faced. I honestly think if you're Jesse, and we always get him on from time to time, or I could have Tony pass it along, I think Jesse has to start sounding surprised when somebody hits the ball. And I'm just talking about a ground out to shortstop. Just if somebody makes contact, I think like that as a broadcaster has to – you have to feel like, wow, okay, we weren't expecting that. But man, Mason Miller, incredible right now. You're running out of superlatives for Mason Miller, and we're still in April. So where are we going to be if this keeps going for another month or two?
So, Chris, I looked this up earlier today. Adam Clue here.
Adam is here. Today. Yes, I didn't introduce you because I didn't get to it. Tony's not here either today. We might as well get that out of the way. So if you're here for Scraby or Tony, it's me and Adam. Anyway, what do you got?
So we've obviously heard all these superlatives about Mason Miller and his scoreless inning streak. And so I looked it up, and it's a scoreless outing streak as well. He made his debut with the Padres after being traded last year at the deadline. He got a hold. He pitched a scoreless inning in the 8th inning. His second appearance in brown and gold, he gave up a 2-run homer to Lourdes Gurriel. Those 2 earned runs are the only earned runs he's given up as a member of the Padres in his second appearance. He didn't allow a single earned run beyond that or this year.
Yeah, or this year. I mean, and it can, we're starting to dig more. Like originally I just looked at his, one line of stats. Oh, he's got a 0 ERA. Then I dug in and looked at the whip. Oh, his whip is a 0.35. I didn't even think that existed as a whip. His strikeout rate is 70%. Oh, he keeps going on and on and on. And you're right, Adam. If you look at his consecutive appearance streak, he gave up the runs to Gurriel on the 2-run homer. That was on August 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. He did not allow a run in any of his last 20 appearances with the Padres last year. And he's been in 11 games this year. So you're looking at 32 2/3 innings of shutout baseball, tying Clay Meredith's record. And you're looking at 31 consecutive scoreless appearances from Mason Miller. And I know that Jesse said, well, it's a 1-2-3 ninth inning yesterday. In his 8 saves this year, 6 of them have been 1-2-3 innings where nobody's even getting on base at all. So incredible. And it's overshadowing a little bit, what the team is doing. They've won 13 out of 15 ball games. Yesterday to me, just another way to finally, find a way to get it done. Both RBIs were 2 outs. You don't, like I said, they never really figured out the kid, Urania, the minor league guy. He struck out 8. He had him on their heels all day. But, they scratched. They got a stolen base or 2. They, just did what they had to do. And then you get 2 out singles. And neither of them were really hit that hard. Bogarts finds a hole up the middle in the 4th inning, and then Bryce Johnson. And, I just appreciate what Bryce Johnson is doing, because right now I think he's the what do we got? 13 guys that aren't pitchers. I think he's the 13th guy in the mind of most people. Anytime you can get, game-winning hits from your 13th guy and 3 stolen bases and great defense, that's pretty good contribution. So, he comes up, he gets to me, it's the game-winning RBI. And then you turn it over to the bullpen. And look, I thought the hero, as good as Mason Miller was, but he's always good. The hero of the win yesterday was Bradley Rodriguez. I don't think there's any question about it. And he gets the last 2 outs to get you out of the 7th inning with the lead intact. And then he goes through pretty much the heart of their order in the 8th inning, 1, 2, 3. And again, ask yourself, where does Bradley Rodriguez rank in the hierarchy of Padres relievers? I'd say Mason Miller's 1. I'd say, and I'm not talking about how they're pitching this minute. I'm just talking about the overall hierarchy, because I think Jason Adams still fine-tuning his game a little bit. His changeup is not being located the way he would like it to be located, I think, right now. But again, extended spring training for Jason Adams. This is to be expected. So I'd have Mason Miller, 1. You're going to have Jason Adams as your second best reliever. Adrian Morejon's got to be your third best reliever, although he hasn't yet pitched like it. I think he's starting to round into form a little bit. I think in your mind, who's your 4th best reliever? Is it Bradley there? Would you have somebody else above him? I know I was going to say Wandy Peralta, but I think people drive off the road because I don't think Wandy Peralta is very good. I'm just saying, you got 3 guys that are easily in the hierarchy ahead of Bradley, and none of them were available, right? Morejon, they didn't want to use. They didn't want to use Jason Adams. They tell Bradley Rodriguez, we need 5 key outs to win this game, and he got them. So, that's that to me. The Padres right now, and we started saying it when they had the winning streak, and now they're still going 13 out of 15. The Padres right now are far better than the total of the Padres is better than the sum of their parts, and that's all. They have everybody contributing. It is even the guys that are hitting 149. I mean, I know Jay Cronenworth's at a struggle, and we're going to go through this in a little bit. You can't tell me, though, that Jay Cronenworth hasn't contributed to the success of this team. He finds a way to make a play, whatever you might need. So I still appreciate Croney, and I know he's going to get it going. Manny's hitting 186. I mean, that's not a Manny Machado batting average. And, we've talked about Fernando. He's got the average up a little bit, but he still only has 4 extra base hits in 22 games. I would say all those guys are helping you win, though. Everybody's contributing. Everybody's got a little piece of this thing. I'll even throw in Castellanos, who's, slumped now and all the way down, I think, to a 450 OPS. Guy has 5 RBIs, and they were all pretty important. So, look, it's the sum of your parts, and I think Craig Stammen is not the greatest skipper ever made. I'm not ready to, go there. But even those of you who don't like Craig Stammen or didn't like the hiring or think it was uninspired or think it was AJ's puppet, whatever you want to say negatively, and I've read a lot of it, whatever you want to say about Craig Stammen, I think if you really think about it, you'd have to say he's doing a pretty good job. He's learning on the job. He's learning. He's making a little mistakes here and there. I think he left in a little long. Walker Buehler. I thought he left him in 1 hit or too many. On a Thursday night, Buehler gave up an RBI single, but, guess what? Bullpen came in and picked him up. So, I think he's getting there. But I'd say overall, you have to give him a thumbs up, right? He's using everybody on the roster. There's 26 guys on this team. And I appreciate the fact that Craig Stammen uses all 26. And you know why I think he does? Because when he played, Craig Stammen himself was the 22nd or 3rd guy. So he understands what those guys can bring to your ball club. I mean, ultimately, the team's going to go as far as Manny goes. Fernando's got to get hot. Merrill, I think, 221 is still not, his level of what he can contribute. The starting pitching is still going to be a little bit of a question with the injury to Pivetta. But until those guys get going, Craig Stammen is doing a hell of a job of winning games with these other guys. He's doing a hell of a job. And he's using guys, and I think they're all appreciative of the opportunity. And I think they're all, appreciative of the fact that they're given a chance to contribute. And guess what? They're rewarding him by contributing. So, if you don't like Craig Stammen, I can't change your mind. But I think so far, you got to say it's been way better than you ever imagined. Way better than you ever imagined. 22 games in. Day off today, into Denver tomorrow, where you should be able to mop up on the Rockies, except for the fact that the Rockies just took 2 in a row from the Dodgers. Don't look now, but the Rockies already this season have beaten the Dodgers as many times as they beat them all of last season. They beat them twice last year. They beat them twice this weekend. They play them again tonight. So who knows? The Rockies win this game tonight, by the way. Don't look now. The Padres would be tied for first place. A little early. But, hey, the Rockies, we said it when they were here, and the Padres were sweeping them. Said the Rockies are better. They're better. But they're still not the 27 Yankees, and you got to feel pretty good about going in there this week and continuing your streak of having won 5 consecutive series. Friday will be off. Saturday and Sunday, you'll be in Mexico City. Are they playing, Adam, do you know, are they playing in the same ballpark they played in a couple years ago when the ball was flying out that first day and the score was like 19-18?
Alfredo Harp Helú Stadium.
That one?
This is actually several thousand feet higher than Coors Field.
Yeah.
So think about this week at Coors Field and then
you
Mexico
get even
City.
more altitude. Very good.
Good week for them to break out of their offensive slump for some of these guys.
Yeah, you're right. We're going to talk about those slumps too. Adam and I. Adam put together a really good piece for us a little bit later to kind of discuss it. But yeah, that place in Mexico City, all I remember about it, Adam, was that even Nelson Cruz hit 2 home runs there. And he couldn't hit the ball out of the infield as a Padre. But so that'll be Saturday. That'll be Sunday. And while we're mentioning that, we should remind you or tell you if you don't know, Scraby and I, this Saturday, are going to be at the Mavericks Beach Club in Pacific Beach. Gee, I've only lived here a while. You think I'd know the name of the little town, Pacific's Beach, to watch San Diego take on Arizona. It'll be the Mexico City series. It'll be presented by Norte Tequila Cocktails. Mavericks will feature deals on South Norte's premium tequila cocktails while you take in the ball game. So come on, hang with us, watch some great baseball, and enjoy South Norte Tequila Cocktails made with real tequila and real juice. That'll be this Saturday from 2:30 to 4:30 at Mavericks Beach Club in Pacific Beach. Get some address on here, Adam, so we can, direct people. I'm sure, you know what, in this day and age, you don't need an address, right? You plug in Mavericks Beach Club on your phone and you're there. So I'm still old school.
How about 860 Garnett Avenue?
There we go. Okay, thank you very much. For those who don't want to
type it in the old Google machine.
Right. For those who don't want to look it up, 860 Garnett Avenue, Pacific Beach. Scraby and I are going to be there. So come on down. Let's watch the Padres and the Diamondbacks together on Saturday. All right, good show. We're going to get to our first break, but we're going to talk with Jake Garegnani of Channel 8 at the bottom of the hour, some more Padres stuff. And, a little recap of everything else that happened this weekend as Gwynn and Chris gets underway.
You have these things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. 4th hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, You're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
Chris, 97.3 The Fan, San Diego's #1 sports talk station. No question about that. And that is thanks to all of you out there. We appreciate everything you guys do to put us on top and keep us on top. I wanted to thank a couple of people over the weekend that are huge fans of the show. First, on Saturday night, I went to dinner in Leucadia. It was on, and that's a bit of a ride for us, Adam. But this place that we went is so good. And Lori, my wife, loved it so much that we had to go back. And it's right there on Pacific Coast Highway. It's called Haggos, 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 organic taco place. Okay, the line is down the block to order, and then you get a seat, and it's a beautiful, just relaxing setting. So we go up there, and turns out Willie, who runs Haggos, is the owner. Recognized the voice, recognized the show, big listener to the station. Willie, thank you so much, man. Had a great time at your place on Saturday night. Don't mind giving it a little pop here. If anybody's up around Leucadia, you're not going to go wrong. And say hi to Willie when you're there. Thanks to Willie. Then yesterday, I was at Costco. Sunday regular shopping day with the wife. The madness of Costco. And by the way, Adam, I don't know if you share this feeling with me. If you are one of those people out there who goes to Costco, and I think this is the perfect example, because the parking lot is bigger than 2 football fields, you could conceivably park a half a mile away and still be in the parking lot. So I get that. But are you the person at Costco who goes to the front of the store and then parks your car in the middle of the driving area and waits 10, 15 minutes for somebody to walk out and open up a spot so you don't have to walk too far? If you are, welcome to the laziest country in the world, America. Get in your car, go down and find another spot and walk up, please. I can't stand it at Costco. It's endless. There's nowhere to go because everybody's waiting for the close-in parking spot because they can't walk another 15 yards. You people embarrass me.
The other thing that people do in Costco parking lots that shows how lazy they are, and it kills me.
Okay.
When they're done with their shopping cart, they just leave it in the parking
many
spot,
people do that.
or maybe just kind of prop it up on the curb a little bit rather than walking it back to where it's supposed to go. And it's like, now it's blocking a parking spot. Now it's going to hit my car.
To me, that's just common courtesy.
It's inconsiderate is what it is.
What it is. You're right. It's inconsiderate. The other thing, though, is just more, honestly, it points out the laziness of us as a society, because you could go park your car another 20 yards down the road and walk up, and guess what? You would save time. But people are willing to give up that half hour, 20 minutes, to wait for the front row parking. You people embarrass me, and you embarrass yourselves.
Scraby's not here today, so I guess we're just doing the daily gripe for him.
Yes, I'm
Tune
doing
in weekdays at 2:20 for your Costco complaints.
Right. Well, I could do one every week, but I guess I brought that all up to say that in the madness that was Costco yesterday, Vincent charged out of the crowd. He works at Costco. He recognized me. So I think it's the second time he's seen me. He kind of embarrassed me because he said, I get a little embarrassed, but I'm in the presence of celebrity. I'm like, stop it. Anyway, he said hi. He's a big fan of the show. So to both Willie and Vincent, thank you and hello. All right, it's Chris Ello today. Tony's out. Scraby's out. Adam Klug's over here. At the bottom of the hour, Jake Garegnani from Channel 8 will talk about the Padres mostly, but some of the stuff going on in San Diego. At 3:30, or a little after 3:30, Keith Smith from Spot Track is going to join us. The NBA playoffs are underway. I will say that was a pretty impressive win by the Lakers. It didn't hurt that Kevin Durant sat out the game, but I think most of us did not expect the Lakers to win anything without Luka and without Reeves, but they played pretty well. Got the first one. The home teams dominated game one, except for the number 1 seed in the East. Detroit was upended by Orlando. We'll talk some NBA. And I think not only the playoffs, but maybe Keith has some ideas on how to fix tanking. If he does, we should just make him commissioner, because the guy who's commissioner doesn't seem to have any ideas how to fix tanking in the NBA. Sam Levitt will be with us in the 5 o'clock hour. So we got a lot going on today. And, of course, we have our regular stuff, Daily Gambit, Chris versus the fans, and all of that. Griffin Canning. If you're thinking to yourself, who's that? Like, I heard the name. If you're a diehard Padre fan, of course, you know exactly who that is. But if you're kind of a little bit of a follow the Padres, but maybe not, every second of the day, you've heard the name, but you don't know exactly how to place it. He's a guy that is going to be a starting pitcher for this ball club. coming off a pretty good finish to the last season with the Mets, got hurt, and he's still trying to make his way back. He could be back in a couple of weeks. And that is really good news for a Padre rotation that needs a boost right now. The question is, and this is a Scraby question, and you fell for it, Adam, but is it all over already for Matt Waldron? He pitched one game. Give the guy a chance to get a little feel for his knuckleball.
How did I fall for it? What did I do?
You put it on the sheet. Matt Waldron's, how long should his leash be?
I put how long should his leash be.
You're already ready to yank the guy out of there.
Asking the question, how long should the leash be, is different than saying it is over.
All right, so you're not panicking. You're just bringing it up.
Start.
You're panicking.
There are people who are panicking.
Yes, they are. And here's what happened to Matt Waldron. Very simple. Go back to the game. Watch it. His knuckleball was fine. It wasn't great.
Breaking news as you looked at the rundown I put together.
Yeah, I know. There it is right here. See, Adam wrote it down. No, his knuckleball was okay. It wasn't incredible. It wasn't Phil Necro. But, he had a pretty good feel for the knuckleball. Here's the problem. All we kept hearing about Matt Waldron was what? He throws harder now. Throws 94, 95. He's throwing this. And everybody's like excited. Guess what the Angels reminded us all of Friday night against Matt Waldron? It doesn't matter how hard you throw the fastball. It matters where you throw it. He grooved it down the middle. Machado hit it out of the ballpark. He grooved another fastball. Bang, another double, another run. Everything that he gave up that I saw was on a fastball that was right down the center cut. And I don't care who you are, the Angels or whoever you are in baseball, these guys are going to feast on that. Simple. Matt Waldron needs better location with his fastball. Think he'll get better feel with the knuckleball. Let's give him another couple starts. I will say, though, the next one is in Denver. So he's going to have his work cut out for him on Wednesday or Thursday in the final game of the series. He's scheduled to pitch there Thursday. So
would you try and manipulate the rotation to try and avoid that opportunity for him?
What's my other option? To put him Friday or Saturday in Mexico City where the elevation is even higher?
Push him to next week.
You
want a bullpen day?
Well, no, he pitches. He pitches Thursday, and he pitches better. That's all. You have to pitch better. Look, if you look at the Rockies this year, we've talked about it. They're better, but they're not scoring 11 and 12 runs. This is not the Bronx, what do they call them? The Blake Street Bombers, Bichette, Galarraga. This is still a Punch and Judy team. Moniak's got a pretty good slug, but they're scoring 3-4 runs. Their pitching is better. That's why they're winning. Yeah, no, to me, Matt Waldron will pitch fine. Locate the fastball. Everybody told Matt Waldron, your fastball is better. And I think he thought he could just throw it through people. And they reminded him, you cannot. Even Mason Miller, and if you watch Mason Miller like we've all been doing, he doesn't throw a lot of fastballs right down the middle. But even when he does, maybe he can get away with it at 104. That's all that happened to Matt Waldron. However, it doesn't hurt to have Griffin Canning in reserve. It really doesn't. German Marquez is turning into really a find. I'm not sold on him. Here's the thing I like best about German Marquez. Ruben Niebla says he sees something in him. That is what I like best about Marquez. I still think, if we can get, what did we get? 6 shut the other night? 6 shutties?
5.2.
5.2. Yeah, if you get that every time, my goodness, that's the greatest thing you could ever expect. But I don't think we're going to keep getting that from Marquez. I actually have more faith in Buehler moving forward than Marquez. But the fact that Canning is coming around, good news. Hopefully we hear something good about Musgrove soon. The starting rotation is going to need reinforcements. It just is. The 5 that they have right now, we're getting by. I don't think it's going to continue for, with this 5 is all I'm saying.
If I could go back to Matt Waldron for a second.
Yeah.
You mentioned his fastball. That the 4-seam fastball was actually his 3rd heaviest used pitch.
Yeah.
He threw the sweeper and the knuckleball more on Friday night. The knuckleball he threw 38% of the time.
Right.
31 total pitches.
You're going crazy analytics on me now, but that's fine.
No,
but was it not the fastball that got crushed?
Which is why I'm saying between the fastball getting crushed and only throwing the knuckleball 38% of the time, the knuckleball is the differentiator, right? Like nobody else in Major League Baseball throws that. So why throw it 38%? It kind of feels like he's trying to avoid the gimmick of being labeled as a knuckleball pitcher.
That
and he
went
wants
into it.
He wants to show that, no, I'm a real pitcher who throws a knuckleball. I would lean into it. I'd go 50, 60% on the knuckleball and really
surprise him with the fastball, which is now even faster than it used to be.
Right.
That's
why I brought up the percentage.
No, perfect. I couldn't agree with you more. But I guarantee if we had Matt Waldron sitting right there, in the studio, and I said, Matt, were you trying to just muscle fastballs by those guys? He would not admit to doing it. But I think in the back of his mind somewhere, everybody telling him that he's throwing the ball so much harder gave him a little bit of a green light to not be as fine with his fastball the other night. And the ones he left in the middle of the plate got hammered. So I think you're right, Adam. I think going forward, Matt Waldron, what do they say about all of us in life? Be who you are. Be what you are, who you are. Adam, slighter build, pretty unlikely you're going to be a world champion heavyweight weightlifter. Just probably unlikely. Got a face like this, I'm not going to be modeling Calvin Klein jeans. Be who you are out there. I put myself in there so that I didn't want to pick on everybody else. But just be who you are. I think it's a great lesson for Matt Waldron. Be who you are. You throw the knuckleball. Great. They're going to remember if you get people out. Doesn't matter how. All right, more Gwynn and Chris coming up. Jake Garegnani from Channel 8. He's a good dude to talk sports with. We'll do it when we return on 97.3 The Fan. All guests on this station, 97.3 The Fan, number one, in San Diego. All guests on this station join us on the SDCCU Fan Hotline. It's not big bank banking, it's better. All of us have to practice that line over and over so we can say it smoothly. Like the TV guys. The TV guys are much smoother than the radio guys, right? They look better, hair's straighter, and they deliver their message so smoothly and cleanly. Kind of like our guest, Jake Garegnani from CBS Channel 8, right here in San Diego. Jake, I hope you liked your intro. I worked on it all day.
This is how I know you don't watch CBS 8. Because if you actually did, you would know I don't speak that well.
You're not that smooth all the time. You're not that smooth all the time.
I got a terrible vocab and a bad look.
No, you have a good look. We know that. Jake, appreciate you coming on. Let's go right into the Padres. Straight up, 15-7. They've won 13. They've lost 2. They've won 5 straight series. They're doing a lot of things well. Tell me how excited you are, even though it's only April 20th.
Yeah, I know I'm always Mr. Positive, right? Which is funny. But we went up to the game yesterday. It was good. The thing that's been so impressive to me, Chris, about what the Padres have done, and I'm probably repeating what you've already heard a bunch, but it's just they've done it with not their stars this year. And I've always been the king of, hey, for this team to work, for this roster, the way it's constructed to be successful, the stars have to be stars. But they've proven to me in the early part of this year that it's the other guys that are stepping up and winning a lot of games for this team. And I think that's kind of twofold, Chris. I think that can be a good thing and a bad thing, because on one hand, it's awesome. This means this team has great depth, a good roster. On the other hand, you go, is it sustainable, right? Like, can Manny and Fernando and these guys not break out this year and this team still be successful? Obviously, I think plenty of people think those guys will come around and be successful this year. But at least in the time being, those guys have not been very solid at the plate this season, and they're still winning games. So that's been very impressive. And then there is some reservations, I think, when you look at the starting rotation, but yet, Herman Marquez is getting it done. Walker Buehler is getting it done. So it's interesting to me because those guys have been pretty solid this year. And I go, oh, that's great. That's what we want to see. You want to see depth, but then how sustainable is that for the course of 162?
A lot was written over the weekend in the paper, and you saw it all over social media, Jake, about the traveling of the Friar Faithful and how many Padres fans made the trip up to Anaheim. As you just said, you were there. Can you paint a picture?
It got loud. It got loud in the 9th inning.
For those of us who were not in Anaheim, talk to us about what kind of scene you saw, how many Padres fans were up there, how was your trip up there, and how, did they take over the stadium?
I don't know if I call it a full takeover, but it was impressive. It felt like almost a 50-50 split, which when you consider, obviously Anaheim in proximity, but it felt like a 50-50 split, and there were holy sheets chants going on. And when Mason Miller came in, it sounded like a Padre home game. So it was very impressive to see. And I've been lucky and blessed enough to travel a decent amount with this team in my career. And the fan base, as everyone in the city of San Diego knows, has been incredible. And we see it every night at Petco Park. But on the road games, it's really been impressive. The ones I've been able to get to, and especially yesterday, it almost felt like a 50-50 split, if not a little more.
I love it. And Jake will be going with the Padres to Mexico City this weekend. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, you touched on it, so let's go there because we're all happy right now, and I'm not trying to douse anybody's happiness. I mean, this is a fun run. You got to enjoy it. Baseball can take this away from you really quick. So, this is fabulous, and it's a good run. But you're right. I think you're right anyway. There's no way this can continue if the big dogs don't start to eat. And that's, I think everybody's got to understand that. What is your level of concern, if any, with any of these guys? I mean, Fernando and Manny, I don't think people have too much concern. Manny does the same thing every single year. Look at his bubblegum card, he likes to say. And, darn, he's right there. Fernando's actually hitting the ball hard. He's been hitting in a lot of bad luck, I think. I'm a little worried about Jake. I love Jake. Maybe it's like my kid. I'm over worried, but even Merrill's only hitting 221. So, what's it going to take, you think?
Yeah, I think it's fair to have concern in some of these areas. I don't think it's just, oh, yep, these guys are going to snap out of it because they're going to snap out of it. Like, I do think, like, the Cronenworth thing, for sure. I think there's concern there at the plate with how he's looked. And, you know, analytics or not, I think the eye test shows that maybe it's not going well great at the plate for Jake.
Real quick, Jake. I thought, Jake, talking about Jake, I thought it was really cool that Craig Stammen, I know that people are going to probably think I'm nuts here. I thought it was great that they brought Jake up in a pinch hitting role last night in the 8th inning, or yesterday. Castellanos actually been swinging a better bat. I think the message from Craig Stammen is, I still believe in you, and I'm sending you up there to get a hit. It didn't work, but I think it gives us a peek into the mind of Craig Stammen a little bit.
100%. And I think the thing that, like, we've learned, even though it's been so short with Craig Stammen's managerial career, the thing we've learned is he is not afraid to do things differently. He's not afraid to try things out of the box a little bit. He's not afraid to empower people. And the other day when we had the game on CBS 8, I asked Craig about Luis Campusano. It's funny you bring this up in a roundabout way. I'll get to what you're saying with Jake. But I asked him, I said, do you think it's been, you know, Campusano in the past not getting empowered by his staff and by the management, and that's why he struggled? And he said, look, Luis has come in with great confidence and all that stuff. But there's no doubt in my mind that the fact that Craig and his staff have decided to say, look, Luis, you're going to be one of our guys. You're going to be big this year. There's no way that hasn't had an effect on him as the hitter, and we've seen that. And so I do think, to your point, Chris, that he will continue to stick with Jake Cronenworth. He will continue to hope and send him up there. And I guess the hope is that, Jake snaps out of it. I know nobody works harder than Jake. I know he's an awesome grinder. We all love Cronenworth. But I do think, you know, to the earlier point, there is fair concern and criticism there at the plate with him and even some of these other guys. I like what you said. I agree. Toddy's been hitting the ball really hard. Even, you know, we had Jackson Merrill on CBS 8 a little while ago, and it was before he kind of broke out a little bit. And I know he's not, you know, crushing it statistically, but he's obviously hitting the ball hard. And I kind of said, hey, you know, you've been hitting the ball really hard. How's your mentality at the plate? And he goes, we're just going to keep hitting the ball hard. We'll be fine. And I think that's true, right? And I think you'll see that with Fernando. The Manny thing is, look, he's proven it over the course of almost 2 decades. You kind of got to trust that track record, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Even though I gave up on him a little last year, maybe if I start giving up on him, then he'll, you know what I mean? He'll start. By the way, Jake Garegnani is with us from CBS 8 here, KFMB. He is the ultimate promoter guy. Do you see how many times he slipped in CBS 8 on the interview already, Adam? I bet Adam wishes we
and who they spoke to and who, you know.
Yes, I know he's doing a great job. Adam only wishes we were that supportive of our own station where he worked. Jake,
did you know you can listen to the show on the Odyssey app? Watch us on YouTube.
We never say that either. I know we're terrible.
I text him like 3 times a week trying to get a job with you guys. So I don't know, you know, maybe if I just start pumping in some 97.3 in this talk, maybe I'll get the gig, you know?
I would love it, man. We it's such a word. We'll get into it another day, Jake, but this business is tough right now. All of us are having a lot of fun, as much fun as we can have. The pitching situation, you mentioned it. Marquez is getting it done. Buehler's getting it done. We got to get Griffin Canning back. We got to get Musgrove back. I don't know about Pivetta. I don't want to write him off, but I hope he shows up in late August somewhere and I'll be happy. Do they have enough, or do you think even that AJ Preller might have to find a trade or even sink down to bringing Lucas Giolito type, you know, free agent in, or you think they can get it done? Pitching, starting.
No, I'm a little worried. Like if the Padres had this staff throughout the course of the season, I think there's definitely cause for concern. You mentioned Griffin Canning. I think he's hopefully going to be very good for this team when he does come back. I think Matt Waldron will be serviceable as well, but I don't think they can run this 5 out over and over and over and it be like a crazy successful season. The Giolito thing's interesting. I just don't know. Obviously, the team's going through a bunch when you talk about ownership, but I just don't know if they can afford. You know, Giolito turned down like $19 million in the offseason. I guess I don't know. Now that it's so late into the year, maybe he would be willing to take a 1-year flyer.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay him that.
Right, and I think it's like I don't think the Padres are going to give him that, but maybe because it's so late in the season, he'd take a flyer. But then he's still got to build up. So I don't know. I do think I don't have the answer to what it is, but I do think they do need to address the starting pitching in some sort of way, whether that be trade or whether it is the Griffin Canning. I'm kind of in your boat, Chris, with Pivetta. You know, like as much as I really love the dude, I just, we're all kind of baseball fans know how this goes. And I sure hope I'm dead wrong on this situation with Pivetta, but I'm definitely not counting on a lot of innings from him this season. And the Musgrove thing is almost in the same boat. Like, great dude, but who knows what you're counting on when you talk about innings. So I do think they need to address in some way the starting pitching. And it's been great that they've been able to kind of bridge that gap with some of these guys so far, but I just don't know over the course of 162 that it's a reality that these 5 could get it done.
Jake Garegnani, CBS 8 in town, local TV. Watch him on the Channel 8 telecast. As he told us earlier, he definitely will slip up from time to time, so you'll have some fun and get some laughs.
I do it all the time.
There you go. I see I'm giving you okay, Jake, what you talked about, what I talked about, same thing, really. They're getting it done without their stars. They're getting it done with everybody contributing. They're getting it done with the 4 and 5 starters, everybody having a little piece of the mix. So that means Craig Stammen must be doing something right. I mean, honestly, he's not just sitting back there and rolling out the lineup and watching these guys pummel the ball. He's finding a way to win all these games. How are you sitting on Craig Stammen so far?
I know. I think if anyone's followed kind of my history with covering Craig, I have been a big fan of his from the beginning. And I know when they were 2-4, it was fire Craig Stammen. He's the worst manager in history. What are we doing? This is awful. And who knows how the rest is going to play out. But I think I mentioned a little bit earlier. And one thing I really, really enjoy about Craig is that he's just willing to do stuff different. And I did an interview with AJ Preller a little while ago, and I straight up asked him, the question was,
where can we find that interview, Jake?
On CBS 8's website, I think.
I don't mean to be doing this, I promise.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
We're talking ball.
You're doing good.
But I straight up asked AJ, I said, look, a lot of people think Craig Stammen is this puppet. And I used those exact words. I said, people think you hired a puppet. Is he this puppet? And the first thing that AJ said is that Craig is his own person. And he really, one of the things that impressed AJ so much about Craig early on was the way he's helped his staff and managed his staff. And I think people really, really enjoy playing for Craig Stammen, really, really enjoy working for Craig Stammen, which is obviously a far cry from what happened with Mike.
Fair,
and so I think
point.
when you have a group of people all pulling on the same rope, and that's cliche, but I think it does work. And I don't know if we had that in years past where there's been kind of butting heads. And I do think, people want to use the word puppet, but I think it's more, the better word should be like aligned vision. It just feels like everybody has the same vision for where they want this team to go. And I think that can be why you've seen some success from players we weren't necessarily expecting at the beginning of the year.
What you're saying is so accurate to me. 2 things that teams need to have that people don't talk about. One is the same vision, everybody rooting for each other, everybody on the same page. Because when that happens, everybody does tend to contribute. 2 is what you talked about a little bit with Campusano. I believe even the greatest of athletes need to know that the people in charge of them believe in them and think they're great, because then they can relax and go out and do their job without having to worry about looking over their shoulder. And I think Craig's done a good job on both of those things. Jake, all right, you're going to Mexico City with the team. When do you start drinking some beet juice? Do you know the altitude is even makes Denver look flat? I just want you to be aware. And I don't want you to get, I don't want you to get too tired, running back and forth to the hotel. So
if it makes you feel better, I grew up in Colorado, so I'm used to altitude. I've got that in the book. Yeah. We got to go, Chris, in 23 with the team as well. And it is so neat to see this celebration of culture and baseball. And the vibe is really insane. And it's just such a cool atmosphere. I think it really, if you remember back in 23 too, the team wasn't playing all that well. And they went down to Mexico City and they took the 2 games against the Giants. And it kind of springboarded them into having a much better season. And, obviously the team's playing well going to Mexico City this time. But I just think they get kind of fired up. It's something different. It's something new. And everyone down there is enjoying baseball for the love of the game. It is a really, really neat experience. And I encourage people, if they have the means and they're able to do so, to try and check out that series. Maybe it's late this year, but whenever you get the opportunity to, because it really is a beautiful thing.
It's fun. I got to go there once with I believe the indoor soccer team here played a game, and I got to travel down there once, and it was just a great experience. I remember I got a ride home from one of the guys who ran the team down there because I missed the bus back to the hotel, if you can believe that, Jake. And he was driving me back to the hotel. He was driving on the sidewalk. And I'm like, okay, this probably isn't what we should be doing. But he goes, don't worry, I got it. That's what I remember about Mexico City. So if you're walking on the sidewalk, look out for cars. But otherwise, have a great time. Thanks for the fun interview. Really enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you down the road, sir.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. You guys you can watch any other station in San Diego. By the way, I'm not going to do any shameless plugs. I'm going to let you go. I am very grateful. You guys always taking me on, and I really appreciate the time and being able to chat ball with you guys. So thank you very much.
You're good, man. We appreciate it. And you're doing good on Channel 8 as far as you know. Keep it up. Thanks.
Much love, guys. Take care.
Yes, sir. Jake Garegnani from CBS 8 right here, KFMB. If you haven't watched Jake, give him a watch. I mean, these guys are on. I will say this, Adam, the local news sports guys, like they have news at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10, 11, you know what I mean? Used to be like a 5 o'clock news, then you went home and ate dinner and came back at 11. That's not how it is anymore. Not in that day and age. Quick note, Adam passed this to me while we were doing the interview with Jake. Dodgers have placed Edwin Diaz on the injured list. What does that say? Right? I see what it says. Right elbow loose bodies. That can't be good, whatever that means. I don't know what that means, but it can't be good if there's loose bodies running around in your elbow. I will say this. I did read, and I'm sure this is what prompted them to check it out, that Diaz's velocity has been way down, and the Dodgers were concerned. Hey, it's not buyer beware because it's the Dodgers. They can absorb it if they. How much did they spend on him, Adam? You know these things.
I think it was 3 years, $69 million.
Yeah,
they got a $70-something million reliever in Tanner Scott. Ready to go.
That's what I'm saying. They won't miss it, but it's a little ding on the Dodgers. Diaz, he's got to miss a lot of time if he's got loose bodies in his elbow.
Doesn't sound good.
Does not sound good at all. Dodgers lose tonight to the Rockies. The Padres would be tied for first. More Gwynn and Chris coming up. All righty, away we go into hour number 2 of Gwynn and Chris. Thanks to Jay Garegnani from CBS 8, working some Padres stuff in there with us. And we'll talk much more about the Friars. They are idle today, probably just sitting and relaxing. And I don't know what's the weather. It was snowing last week in Denver. I think it's a little nicer than that. Rockies play tonight against the Dodgers while the Padres are resting in Denver. And if the Rockies win, the Padres will be tied for first place in the National League West. That's what a 13-2 run will do for you. 5 straight winning series, capped off by a 2-1 win in Anaheim yesterday. We'll talk much more about that as we go along here.
Tied for the best record in baseball if the Dodgers
Right,
lose.
if the Dodgers lose. And you only brought that up because the Braves are also in that conversation, and you just wanted me to mention
That's
the Braves.
not why I said
Yes, it is. Adam Klug is over there today filling in for Scraby. Tony Gwynn Jr. is idle. We'll all be back at it tomorrow for a regular 2 o'clock show. Ahead of Padre baseball, if you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's. Authentic Mediterranean cuisine. It's in Coronado. It's in La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com. The Mets are not playing tonight, which is a shame because I kind of like to watch a car wreck as much as the next guy.
They can't lose today.
Yeah, that's right. But, boy, the Metropolitans, everybody around baseball has to be just celebrating because what's the one thing we hate about baseball the most? The fact that the rich teams have all the money and spend it all, and the poor teams, it's not fair, the whole thing. The Mets payroll, did I see $352 million?
Second highest payroll in baseball behind the Dodgers.
According to the opening day payroll and this story, 352 is tops in the majors. Now, maybe the Dodgers, according to somebody else, are above them. But either way, the Mets have spent an awful lot of money to lose 11 games in a row. And we're going to talk about them more in the Big Five. But I can only imagine what it is like with our friends, our brethren, Adam, who do the talk shows there in New York City. And is WFAN one of our guys? I think they are.
Yes.
All right. So let's just say it's WFAN today, and they crack open the microphone. And what do they see? Well, they see an 11-game losing streak. But on top of that, they see the Cubs get the tying run in the 9th inning. And then in the 10th inning, they see Pete Crow Armstrong as the ghost runner. And they see Dansby Swanson move him over to third base. And now you have the winning run at third, and at bat is one of the hottest hitters in baseball, Nico Horner. He has been scorching the ball, crushing the ball. He's got a 920 OPS. On deck is Michael Busch, who has barely hit the ball out of the infield this year. I don't even think he has a home run. He may have finally got his first. No, he still doesn't have one. Okay. So he's slugging 192. He's on deck. And they don't walk Nico Horner. They pitch to him. And what happens? Horner hits a deep fly ball, game over. Can you imagine the kind of scrutiny that is under, Mendoza over there after that?
And,
what a no-brainer that was to walk Nico Horner and face a guy hitting 164.
And his rationale was because he said if you walk Horner, he's a speedy guy. He's going to steal second.
So what? You still get Busch out, and then
the only run that matters is the run on third.
Right. So Horner could steal second. Let him. His run doesn't mean a thing. Wow. That's like Little League, minor league managing 101. And you did that on the heels of an 11-game losing streak in New York. I can't even imagine what the people are saying there.
I'm sure
today.
The media will go pretty easy on them in New York.
Probably won't even mention it. In fact, you probably had to tune into my show to hear that whole thing. All right, let's do some daily Gambit, Adam. See what's coming up on the scoreboard tonight.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, gamble responsibly, blah, blah, blah. We know that we want you to gamble responsibly. Don't bet money you don't have. But have some fun. Scraby had no fun. I wish he was here for this one, Adam. It's almost as if
Kick him while he's down. He can't defend himself.
Yeah, but it would be way more fun if he was sitting right there to hear me say this. We made 9 bets this weekend, picks, whatever. Scraby went 0 for 9. That is actually hard to do.
That's very Metsian.
Right? He had a Mets weekend. He had 9 picks. He got them all wrong. You almost should win something for that in Vegas because it's hard to be wrong against the spread on every try.
If you had done a parlay, a 9-way parlay, and taken everything that was opposite of what Scraby, we'd be retiring.
He'd be retiring. So anyway, I won the week last week. We'll talk more NBA, some NBA with Keith Smith of Spot Track coming up in the 3 o'clock hour because the playoffs are underway. And we'll get to some of those tonight. But first, we got the Dodgers at the Rockies tonight. The Dodgers are, of course, favored by 1.5 runs because they're far superior to the Rockies. Although the Rockies have taken 2 out of 3. That is crazy. And if you just tuned in, we told you before the break, Edwin Diaz, injured list, does not sound good with some loose something going on in his elbow. That can't be good if you're a Dodger or an Edwin Diaz fan. But I'm still going to take the Dodgers tonight. I mean, to honestly think that the Rockies could take 3 out of 4, I mean, you got to be dreaming. It may happen, but Adam, would you give the 1.5 tonight if you were a wagering man and you were the Dodgers?
I think they're just going to try and score enough runs where it doesn't matter that they don't have Edwin Diaz. They'll be fine.
You take the Dodgers.
Yeah.
11.5 runs. That is a lot for a Major League Baseball game. But when you got Justin Wrobleski against Jose Quintana, I think they expect a lot of runs to be scored.
Quintana's still kicking it around, huh?
Not too well, but he's still pitching. Yeah, he's got a 1.88 whip, so it hasn't gone great for him. Wrobleski's pitched okay so far. I'll still take over because it's crazy and it's Denver.
Didn't he go 8 shutout or something like that?
Who, Wrobleski? I think he might have. Yeah, he's pitched well. Aaron Nola at the Cubs tonight. Phillies got swept by your Braves. How did you enjoy that weekend? That doesn't happen all the time, right? In Philadelphia?
No, I enjoyed it very much.
I bet you did, huh? What is going on? I mean, are the Braves all that? 15-7? I mean, you'd be the one guy that says they're not good. So let me hear your take on the Braves so far. They got the same record as the Padres, so what's the deal?
They're kind of similar to the Padres in that some of their
star guys aren't doing
like Acuna and Austin Riley are not playing that well. Their pitching has actually been good.
You know who the breakout star for the Braves so far has been? Catcher Drake Baldwin.
He's been great, as has Dominic Smith.
Smith, who they picked up off the scrap heap. Yeah, total scrap heap. But Drake Baldwin is hitting like he's Yogi Berra back there.
He won Rookie of the Year last year.
Well, yes. But a lot of Rookies of the Year don't immediately pay dividends the next year. He is right now for the Braves. All right. Anyway, Nola's at the Cubs. Seth Lugo, the Royals have hit the skids. I don't pay attention to the American League near enough. But I looked up today to see the Royals are 7-15. They got the same record as the Mets.
Their ace pitcher, Cole Reagans, just walked 8 hitters over the weekend.
In one game?
In one game.
They let him stay in for 8 walks?
Yeah.
The Royals have lost 7 in a row. But I did notice that both Seth Lugo and Michael Walker are still pitching lights out. So I think Lugo gets more strikeouts tonight against Baltimore than Nola does at the Cubs. Dylan Cease is pitching in Anaheim tonight if you want to go visit. Cease is 7.5 strikeouts for his over-under against the Halos. I don't know what to do with Dylan Cease. I mean, what do you think, Adam? This is a guy we know for a fact has probably more God-given talent to throw a baseball than maybe any other pitcher in all of baseball. I don't know what it is about this guy. Last year he struggled, but he just doesn't win games. That's what I go back to. And I know that the analytic people will say, well, you can't blame him. He throws 7 shutout and they don't score. That's not his fault. The guy has a 1.74 ERA this year. But he's 0-0. And I know it's not his fault.
Don't talk to me about pitcher's record, please.
I will. Sorry.
No,
the idea is to win games. Last I checked. Sorry, I'm old school.
You could pitch 8 shutout innings and not get the win.
I just said that's possible, but you know what? You pitch to what you have to pitch to. I don't. All right, then you love Dylan Cease.
I did not say that. What I think is that Toronto has really figured out how to unlock guys. They did obviously a great job with Kevin Gausman, who came over a few years prior to that. Robbie Ray had won a Cy Young there a few years ago. And Dylan Cease, Chris, I know you don't love the advanced analytics, but if you look at his StatCast page, it is all bright red. He's in the 99th percentile in all of baseball in whiff percentage.
He's the greatest
pitcher.
He's
striking out 36% of his hitters, which is 95th percentile.
And guess what?
But he's walking 13.5% as well.
All right, and guess what? A quality start is about the easiest thing in Major League Baseball to get. He has one. He has 1 in 4 tries.
He's a high volume, a lot of pitches guy, which doesn't let him go deep.
Which means he can't get you the win. He can't win a game for you. That's my whole point. You guys don't like winning games. I do.
I love winning games.
Apparently not.
We were just off the air discussing whether or not you should be bringing in Mason Miller in the 8th inning to win games, and I said I want to win the game. Don't tell me I
because
like
you want to burn
games.
him out in April. Look, Dylan Cease with his 0-0 record faces the Halos tonight. All right, Knicks are 6.5 over your Hawks tonight. Let's get to that. The Hawks laid
the knife? What are you trying to do here?
Game 2, the Hawks laid a big fat egg, I thought, in game 1. The second half that Atlanta had, was it just a fugazi? Did the Knicks expose them? A lot of times game 1 can be overrated.
Just like you said with Matt Waldron
Okay,
earlier.
so do the Hawks. So do the Hawks come back? You feel me here? 6.5?
I picked the Hawks to win in 6 before the series.
You did.
The series does not start until the road team wins.
I
believe the series starts tonight, baby.
They always say that until the series is over and the road team never wins.
So I guess the series never began in those instances.
It never began.
Series begins tonight. Hawks win.
The one problem the Hawks have, Adam, I must tell you, they don't have the dynamic player of a Jalen Brunson. They just don't. And that's not – who do they have that has done it?
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, but nobody knows who the hell he is.
That doesn't mean he's not dynamic.
Until he does it.
Just like you said, you don't watch the American League. That doesn't mean that baseball isn't being played there.
Until Jalen Johnson does it in the Eastern Conference semifinals or finals, he is not the kind of guy on this stage. And I think that's the advantage the Knicks have. Denver 7.5 over Minnesota. I think the T-Wolves will win this game. Jokic is starting to bother me a little bit. I love his talent. Don't get me wrong. This whole obsession with how incredible it is that he gets triple doubles. Understand that every time Denver has the ball, the first thing they do, unless Jamal Murray just shoots it, the first thing they do is they pass it into Jokic. The offense starts with him. He's going to get 10 assists because he makes the pass before the shot almost every time. He's also going to get 10 rebounds because he's gigantic. He's the first guy in the history of the league, though, to lead in both rebounding and assists. I think there's a reason for it. Part of it is that he's great, but part of it is because of the way Denver plays. I think Jokic is overrated. I think Minnesota bounces back there. The Ducks open the playoffs tonight in Edmonton. They're the last team to open the playoffs. Are you into the NHL playoffs? Can I get you interested, Adam? You're from Atlanta, where they lost 2 hockey franchises. So
my story with the NHL is I used to work in sports talk radio in Atlanta. We covered the Atlanta Thrashers. They were one of the worst teams in hockey for years and years and years and years and years and years. They finally made the playoffs. Everyone was stoked. They got swept in the first round by the New York Rangers, and everyone's like, oh, done.
And they were done.
You had your one shot, and you blew it.
Yeah, the Calgary
got swept in the first round.
You do know the Calgary Flames started in Atlanta as well.
I'm
way
well
back
aware.
when. All right. We'll see how the Ducks do. Edmonton is the 2-time defending Western Conference champs. That is the Daily Gambit. A little different rendition of it today with Adam alongside.
Can I give a little note on Edwin Diaz?
Yes, you have further information?
Bob Nightingale tweets, Edwin Diaz will undergo arthroscopic surgery to remove the loose bodies in his elbow. Typical timeline being 2 to 3 months.
I'll tell you one thing. That would be, I think, good. Wouldn't it? Based on, if I just told you he had bodies floating around his elbow, which I just mean some pieces of bone or something, right? Okay.
How are loose bodies different than bone spurs?
Yeah, I don't know. But if that's what we told you, which is what we started with, that he's got this, and then you came back and said, yeah, he'll be gone 2 months, I think you'd take that.
2 to 3. And then, with pitchers, then you got to go on the rehab assignment and build up your stamina and all that. I mean,
the bottom line is what I
break.
Want to hear as a Padre fan, because I don't like to kick people down unless it's the Dodgers. I wanted to hear that he's out for the year and we'll see you next year. But he's probably going to come back in time to cause us some agony later in the year. But he will be gone for a couple of months. So that will be something the Dodgers have to deal with. I touched on it quickly, and since I have a minute here before the break, I watched Oklahoma City yesterday against Phoenix, and I am a fan of the NBA enough to when the playoffs come around, I do like to watch to see what's going on. I know these teams play hard. I also know that Dylan the Villain is playing against SGA, and I expect some good fireworks, so I want to tune in. I could only make it through a quarter and a half. I'm sorry. If you are a fan of the NBA and the Oklahoma City Thunder or a lover of SGA, I can't change your mind and you're going to think I'm wrong. But this guy, they call a foul anytime he goes near a defender. He goes to the free throw line. And a lot of times he doesn't even get touched. He falls down. He flails his arms. I am tired of watching this guy. And I believe his skill is tremendous. But I just want to see him earn his buckets. He still pushes off with the off arm. You can see it almost every time he shoots. The arm comes out. The defender goes back. He goes up for the jump shot. They never called. Well, they called it once this year, and everybody had a attack about it. But I don't get it, man. He was on the foul line every time he got the ball yesterday. It's really frustrating to watch. I don't know. I'm going to ask Keith Smith about it when he comes on at the bottom of the hour. I don't think he can fix it, but I want to get his thoughts. Maybe I'm overblowing it, but I want to appreciate SGA because I know he's an MVP. He's probably going to win another one. I just see him getting bailed out every single time he puts a shot up, and it gets annoying. More Gwynn and Chris coming up after we check some traffic for you. Chris program without Gwynn today. Scraby's also idle. Chris Ello, Adam Klug sitting over there, and we always like when Adam's in with us, hanging out. I'm going to talk some NBA with Keith Smart of Spot Track, right? He's the same name as the guy who hit the game-winning shot? Keith Smith.
Keith Smith.
I said Keith Smart, yeah. Keith Smart
That's why
was
you're
the guy.
confused.
Right. Keith Smart's the guy who hit the game-winning shot for Indiana. All Indiana Hoosiers will know who I mean. Keith Smart beat Syracuse in the title game. I think it was 1987. You got to go back a ways. But last second shot won the NCAA title. Yes, Keith Smith, Spot Track coming up. And by the way, I don't think I'm just blowing smoke on SGA. He shot 17 free throws the other day. Phoenix shot 18. I think if you're Phoenix, you feel some type of way about that. Now, Oklahoma City won the game by 35 points, so it's probably immaterial. But I just said they send the guy to the line every time he gets the ball, and they do. All right. Talk to Keith about that. One NBA note, Victor Wembanyama, not surprising to anybody, just named the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year. He'll probably win that every single year the rest of his career.
Youngest to ever win the award, first to ever win the award unanimously.
7'4" with a 19'4" wingspan or whatever it is. The guy, I mean, you talk about a freak of nature. Most NBA players are freaks of nature. They don't look like it when they're on the court with each other. But if you went to a party and say, I'll say even Anthony Edwards was there, 6'5" or whatever, you'd be like, whoa, like he'd stick out. NBA guys are just freaks of nature. And then there's Victor Wembanyama, who's just another level entirely. Last Spurs player to win NBA Defensive Player of the Year. I wouldn't bring it up if it weren't Kawhi Leonard. He did it twice 10 years ago. Kawhi's been in the league for a while. Doesn't seem like 10 years since Kawhi went to the NBA, but it's even longer than that. They'll be announcing the MVP, which will probably be SGA later in the week. I wanted to get to this about, there was a story in the paper the other day. Kirk Kenney wrote this story, and I want to get in touch with Kirk before I go a whole lot further into this, but I wanted to point something out that bothered me. This is not Kirk's fault at all. He listens to the show all the time. Kirk wrote correctly that a website named On3, @On3, reported,
big college sports website.
Okay, big college sports website. They reported without question that the Poinsettia Bowl, which was in town here for about 10 years and went away, is coming back next year. There's a tweet here from Brett McMurphy, who's another college football guy.
He works for On3, so this is his report.
But he said, it was his report. Thank you. Okay, so Brett Murphy said, Poinsettia Bowl returns after 10 years. Sources said. So even he, who's the guy writing it and reporting it, is attributing it to sources. Kirk Kenney wrote that according to On3, their sources say the Poinsettia Bowl is coming back. So Kirk did everything right. The people who wrote the headline at the UT put it at the top of the paper Sunday or Saturday, and it was the headline story, and it said, Poinsettia Bowl is returning. Matter of fact, it's a done deal. And I just don't think that's fair to the writer. Kirk didn't write that. They also interviewed Mark Neville, who's the head of the San Diego Sports Association, which kind of runs the Holiday Bowl and all this stuff. And Mark said, hey, we're always looking to, do this, do that, but nothing's official on anything. That's the official word. Now, I don't know if Brett McMurphy's right. I don't know if Mark Neville's right and just keeping it from us. I don't know if there's some T's that need to be crossed, some I's that need to be dotted. But I think it's irresponsible to write a headline that says the Poinsettia Bowl is back. Because it's not officially back yet. It's something that sources are saying. Sources have been known to be wrong, or things can change. I think until you get confirmation you shouldn't write that it's back. And I read Kirk's story all the way through, and nowhere in Kirk Kenny's story did it say the Poinsettia Bowl is back. It said sources say it's coming back.
And you can confirm this as you like, because you've worked in the newspaper industry. But for those who don't know, different people write the headlines.
That's
from
right.
the people
And
that
that's
write
why I'm
the
bringing it
stories.
up. Kirk didn't write the headline, so don't come down on him. I'm coming down on whoever wrote a misleading headline that said the point. If you just picked up the paper Saturday that said the Poinsettia Bowl's back, you're like, okay, it's a done deal. I don't think you can say that. The guy who would run the Poinsettia Bowl himself said that, we're always thinking of stuff like that. He dismissed it. And I'm not saying it's not true. It's not true. I'm saying when we get it official, we can write it as if it's official. Anyway, that's just a little journalism thing that I have, having come up in the journalism world.
Nothing is official until the team or the person announces it.
I think so.
We see reports all the time that so-and-so is going on the IL, according to source, whatever, until the team announces they're going to the IL, the move is unofficial.
Right. As a perfect example to this, Adam, we've been all widely reporting that Jose Feliciano is the owner of the Padres.
Correct. The team has
But
not announced
we say every time it's still according to sources and what people are widely reporting. Because as far as I know, he hasn't stepped up and announced that he's the new owner of the team, nor of the Padres. So you need to make that distinction. I at least made to make that distinction. Lakers. I got to say, I gave him a little thumbs up and some credit. They won game 1. What's ahead in the playoffs? Keith Smart, spot track. Great NBA guy next.
Keith Smith, actually.
Keith Smith. Oh, my God. I better write this in big letters. Keith Smith. Smith. Yikes.
I actually got in trouble once when I worked at the bank for looking up a celebrity, and it was totally wrong on my part. Totally wrong.
Looking up their account number?
Just I searched her name in the account system, and
Scrappy, what is wrong with you?
I was like 19.
You'd be better off.
You would be better.
You'd be better off admitting that you wore your underwear inside out. Frankly,
This guy is just searching up people's accounts.
It only happened that one time because I got caught.
How did you get caught?
The account was flagged, and anybody taking a look at it gets logged. And so I got called into the boss's office like 3 days
What
later.
did that come? I'm sorry, I gotta ask, but nobody's supposed to be doing this preview. What did that conversation? How did it go?
Well, why were you looking up Paris Hilton? Is that who it was?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh my!
I can neither confirm. That's really funny, Chris, that you just yelled out that name out of all names.
No.
But I walked in. I got called into the office, and I sat down.
gosh.
And all my boss. I loved her. She was great. Her name was Sharon. Amazing boss. She just slid the piece of paper in front of me.
You knew.
Said, "Did you visit this account?" And I looked. Yeah. She was like, "We're gonna have to write you up for this, and if you do it again, we're gonna have to fire you." And I said, "I'll never do it again." And I got out of there as soon as possible. I took everything, but it was not good. Not good.
Just curiosity, huh? He's like, I wonder how much they have in their account.
Yeah. I mean, before I got caught, I did look up athletes. And,
oh my God! I'm so glad you're sitting in this seat now.
Yes, I'm so happy you're not doing any job that can be dangerous to people's futures.
This was in the first year that I was there. I learned my lesson thoroughly.
Chris, as I said, as soon as they walked in, there was like,
yeah,
that's our guy right there.
That's our window.
We're gonna take him down.
Yep.
Just lucky I didn't get caught for like. I can't even say. I'll tell you guys off break whose account I saw and how much money they had sitting in their checking account.
And this was how long ago, too, by the way?
2009, 10. Way before I became a good person.
Didn't Bank America end up getting in trouble? Or was that it was one of those banks got in trouble?
All of them get in trouble for selling information. But
I heard folks like you.
I wasn't selling any information. I was just wanting to see what was going on.
Curious.
I didn't check their account activity, which I could have. Been like, oh, they bought this here. I'm going to go up there. You know, I'm not that creepy.
Well, that's stock.
Oh, yeah, you're not that bad.
I'm not that creepy.
This is amazing, by the way. We're supposed to be doing.
How are we supposed to do baseball picks under these
I don't think we can
circumstances?
anymore. I think we gotta push it. You guys never did it? Well, I mean,
no, Scrappy, we didn't. We didn't
really? Like you work at a bank, you're looking at people's account information?
That's
unbelievable.
It only happened for a little bit, and then I got
for a little bit.
I can't stop laughing at this because it is quite hilarious, Greg.
But you were saying that I may have gotten robbed or whatever. I actually did get robbed when I worked in San Francisco, and they're called quick change artists.
How long did you work in the banking industry?
8 years. I was a teller supervisor when I finished. I was also the merchant teller, which took in around $150,000 in cash a day. Guess what? Always balanced at the end of the day.
Yeah, I bet.
But there was a guy who walked in. He had about $5,000 in hundreds, and he handed it to me. He said, "Can I get 50s for these?" And I said, it's pretty annoying that he wants
$5,000 in hundreds.
In hundreds, and he wanted $5,000 in 50s. He just wanted 50s instead of hundreds. So I had to go get it from the vault. I come back. I'm starting to count it out, and then he's like starting to ask me questions as I'm counting it out.
He's trying to
what did
I tell you, Chris? This is what I'm talking about.
That window right there.
Hey, this guy was so good that no one saw it coming. But so when I started getting mad at him because I counted out the 50s, he goes, "What are you doing?" I asked for 20s. And I'm like, what? You did not ask for 20s. You asked for 50s, bro. Yeah. I had to go to the vault to get those 50s. And as I was getting all mad and talking to my boss, he took the cash off the counter and put it into this folder that he had on the thing that
the original 5,000 in hundreds.
Yeah, well, he kept going like that, and then I was so mad, I just grabbed it and I threw it in my drawer. And then he was like, "You know what? I'm out of here." And he walked out. And then at the end of the day, $3,000.
He got an extra 3 on you.
$3,000. Yeah, he got $3,000.
The thing about criminals like that, they can sniff out a mark really easy.
I'm not a mark.
You are 1,000%.
I was actually the bank's
dog. They got you for 3 extra.
And that's the only time in my 8 years that I ever had anything happen like that.
I'm sure there are people who've been there 8 years that never had 0 taken.
Scrape, I got a 20 here. Can I get 5 5s, please?
I hate you guys.
Let's get to
that was one of the worst moments of my life, but you know what? It taught me a lot. Never trust anyone ever again.
You know what? You definitely have learned because you don't trust very many people.
I don't trust anyone
anymore.
I actually got in trouble once when
Welcome back, 337. Chris Ello. No Tony Gwynn Jr. today. Tony's idle. Scraby is also idle. But the show being kept afloat nicely by Adam Klug. And we're going to check a little traffic here for you so you can safely negotiate the roads out there and what they refer to as America's finest city. I think it's a little pretentious of us, but what the hell? Somebody's got to be America's finest city, so why not us? Get your traffic, and then we're going to talk some NBA.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com.
A crash on the 5 northbound north of Delmar Heights. At least the HOV lane is blocked. There may be injuries. The 5 south slow getting onto the 163. Come on 8 east past the 5.
Traffic brought to you by Albertsons, Vons, and Pavilions. Shop Albertsons and Vons for savings on family favorites. Right now, get USDA Choice New York Steak Bone-In Value Packs for $7.99 per pound with membership where applicable. And first of the season Sweet Bicolor Corn is just $5 for $1 with digital coupon. Limit 10.
All right, Keith Smith is a Spot Track's NBA writer, and we like to have him on from time to time, especially when they get to the postseason. Keith, how are you today? Appreciate the time, sir.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Just real quick, I want to confirm that you did not hit the game-winning shot for Indiana against Syracuse in 1987's NCAA title game. That's right. You did not.
That is correct. That was Keith Smart.
Yes.
But
See,
he
knew.
$1 every time that happened.
He knew.
Be a pretty rich guy.
Yeah, that's right. No, yeah. Oh, if you got called Keith, yeah. Well, I was bringing you on as Keith Smart before I put you on. So I don't know why that works that way, because we've had you on so many times, and I should know better. Anyway, Keith Smith, thank you for your time, sir. Let's start with the Lakers. close to home here for the folks. We have a lot of Laker fans here still. I look at the score and I was surprised. Really, I didn't expect the Lakers to cruise to victory in game one. What they did over Houston, I think obviously the big note to people was, hey, Kevin Durant sat out. But I think the bigger note ought to be the fact the Lakers shot 61% in this game, Keith. And I don't care if Kevin Durant comes back or not. Shoot 61%. Luke Kennard's 5 for 5 on threes. You're going to win a lot of games, even in the playoffs, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're creating open looks like that and you're knocking them down at that kind of clip, it almost doesn't matter who's playing for you or who you're playing against.
Yeah.
You're going to get those wins. The Rockets outshot the Lakers considerably. They took, there's 20 some odd more shots than the Lakers did. And usually when you lose the shot margin by that much, you lose the game. But unless you shoot a ton of free throws, which the Lakers didn't, they just shot great and made the most of their possession.
That is a great point. I saw the 61%. I did not see the Rockets took 93 field goals. The Lakers only 66. And you're right. You don't normally win that game. We'll see if the Lakers can keep it up. What do you think? I mean, in general, LeBron is being counted on to kind of carry it, but also distribute it. 19, 13 assists. That's a pretty good performance for him. And, I think a lot of people want to try to bury the guy, me included sometimes. But be careful what you try to do because he's still got a little ability, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is just incredible that not only is he still playing, but still playing at this high of a level. It's one of those things that just really doesn't make sense. And he has played so well. And for the Lakers, they're in a position where, the Rockets, if they get Kevin Durant back, we don't know, right? They're still saying he's really dealing with this knee injury, and we don't know when and if he's going to play. They don't have Kevin Durant. The Lakers definitely have a great chance of winning this series. If the Rockets get Durant, it probably flips back in their direction. But yeah, it's going to be a challenge. But LeBron is up to this challenge here, and as long as they keep getting great games out of guys like Luke Kennard and Marcus Smart made a bunch of plays, they're doing their best to fill in for the missing Doncic and Reeves.
Yeah, great performance in game one for the Lake Show. The winner of this series will take on OKC. And I think a lot of people would like us to believe that no matter who wins this series, they can forget about it against OKC. This is a team that has been as dominant as any NBA team ever has over a 2-year period. It seems like every time they get challenged, they win the next game by 35 or 40 points. But I also remember them losing, I think it was 3 games in a row, Keith, to San Antonio, all, way back when, early in the season. So is OKC to the finals a foregone conclusion again, or is there some hesitation this time?
Yeah, I don't think it is a foregone conclusion. If anything, last year's team was even more dominant, and they were challenged by the Nuggets in the Western Conference, and then they got challenged by the Pacers in the NBA Finals, and there's still a lot of people who they believe had Tyrese Haliburton knocked on down, the Pacers were going to get them and win the title. But, if you made me pick any one team, sure, I would pick the Thunder. They've been the best team in the league all year long, but the Spurs have had their number this year. And like I said, Denver's played them really tough in the past. So I think, they're going to have to work for it in the West Finals one way or another. I'm not going to just, go put them in pen in the NBA Finals just yet.
Well, the referees are going to put them in. Sorry, but I watched some of the highlights of SGA. Keith, help me out here. Am I reading into the fact that the guy gets too many calls, or does he just get the normal calls that a superstar is supposed to get?
I think it's more of the latter.
Okay.
I think, sure, he embellishes contact some, but it's funny because everybody yells about him, but he didn't even lead the league in free throw attempts per game. That was Luka, who also does a lot of the exact same stuff as SGA does. So,
I know.
There, I like to say all of the very best scorers in NBA history have found their way to the foul line quite a bit, and it's just kind of what comes with the territory. I don't think he does anything super egregious that anybody else does. I think it's his team is on top. I think people don't see a way to beat them unless he's not getting calls. And if he's getting calls, it almost feels impossible. And then this team, I think now everybody's kind of come around to after saying, well, the second apron's going to get them. They're going to fall apart within a couple years. Well, they're built to last, and they still have a whole bunch of extra draft picks and everything else. I think we're now in a spot where people are looking for any reason to hate the Thunder.
Yeah, I'm not looking to hate them, but he got 17 free throws yesterday. Phoenix got 18. I can understand Phoenix feeling some type of way. Keith Smith is with us from Spot Track. We're talking some NBA. Real quick, Keith, because I have a couple questions on top of this, but take us to the Eastern Conference. Detroit lost the first game, despite having the best record. Can we just chalk that up to a little inexperience as a number one seed? Because they played the Knicks awfully tough in the first round last year. I didn't expect them to be caught by surprise like that yesterday.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've won a home game. I want to say we're about 18 years now.
For the Pistons?
Won a home game in the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Which is, crazy. But I just think for the Pistons, I think kind of the things we worried about with them going into the playoffs, it's a lot on Cade Cunningham. They don't have a lot of shooting. The bench isn't great outside Isaiah Stewart, and then they couldn't get Jalen Duren involved. That kind of all together came into play against a Magic team that was left for dead just a mere 4 or 5 days ago, and here the Orlando is with a game up on the Pistons. I think that series is going to be a battle before all is said and done. Detroit, you lose one, that's okay. You still got plenty to get back into it, but you don't want to go down 2-0, especially when you're at home court advantage.
Yeah, that if you're not a number one seed, sometimes it's a little different carrying that pressure with you. Keith, like 2 quick words because I don't like Joe Mazzulla, but is Boston going to be there in the end out of the East with Jason Tatum back?
Yeah, I think they're the best, most well-rounded team in the East. Their offense is good, their defense is good.
I know.
Tatum looks like he just went on vacation for a while. Like
right.
No one expected him to look this good. I mean, he's been unbelievable. They've got depth. They've got a bunch of guys who don't really care about anything beyond winning. That's the way they built that team is like, hey, you're going to come in, you might play a lot one night and get a lot of shots. The next night you might not play as much, you might not get as many shots, but be ready when your name and number is called, and that's how they want the team built and ready to go.
Keith Smith, Spot Track, great NBA guy. Okay, Keith, real quick, again, the criticism of the NBA, am I hearing it too loudly or is it loud? The tanking situation, SGA aside, some of the flopping and, trying to, control the refereeing and the superstars getting treatment. There seems to be a lot of negativity surrounding the league. I'm happy that the playoffs are finally here so I can watch some basketball. But is the league as concerned as we think they should be?
About some of the things they are, for sure. There definitely, is concerns around the tanking stuff. Personally, I think that, a lot is being made of something that I don't know that it's as, nearly the problem that they seem to think it is. Was it egregious this year? Yeah, absolutely. It is a loaded draft class with, somewhere between 5 and 10 players that would be, top level picks in most other drafts. I mean, that's where we're going to, and there's weak drafts coming up. So I think the teams that were in a chance to get to the top are like, we're going to get to the top. And I think, people yell and scream. And I always like to say, nobody hates the NBA more than NBA fans. I never hear NFL fans or baseball fans or hockey fans grumble about their league the way NBA fans do. I
might be right.
I just sometimes I start to wonder, like, do you even like the game and the sport? Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's a little weird to me, but it kind of is what it is. But yeah, there's definitely things the league is concerned about, and there's other things that they're just kind of like, hey, that is what it is. We're not overly worried about that.
I was going to say about the stars getting the free throws and the breaks. Michael Jordan got them, right? And that's 40 years ago. So this, in that regard, a lot of it hasn't changed. What has changed is that when SGA pump fakes and takes a shot and they show the defender not really touching him and then he goes to the line, it's tweeted out for 80 million people to see. Like, that didn't happen. Yeah. I guarantee you Jordan went to the foul line on those situations as well. So I think that's a fair one. And the other thing about the tanking, this is the conundrum that the way I see it, Keith. You ask teams not to do it. You ask teams to, give it their best shot. But you also see what's happened to San Antonio. They were one of the worst franchises going there for, 3 or 4 years, right? Popovich was in the hospital. They couldn't win a game. But now Wemby falls to them, and just like that, they're one of the contenders to win the title. So how do you tell a team not to try to get that?
Yeah, that's it, right? It's a sport where 5 guys are on the court at once. And in one of those 5, like Wemby, not to discount the other Spurs good players because they have plenty, but one guy can really change the fortunes of your franchise. It's that important to have that one guy, and that's why teams are going to go for it. There's nothing to incentivize them to do otherwise. Now, the league is looking at how they can change that. We'll see what they come up with. Personally, I hope they don't go too overboard. Don't make it too complicated that people can't follow it. Don't make it, don't create other problems trying to fix this problem. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Now, I'll say one other thing too, because you made me think of something about Michael Jordan and those foul calls. I think too, the other thing that hurts it is our TVs are so much better now. I put on a game from back then. My daughter is 15, looked at it, she's like, this is what you used to watch sports looking like? Like, what?
Right, you couldn't even see you couldn't even see Michael Jordan
exactly.
out there.
Like,
I know what you mean.
Michael Jordan, sure. Right?
Yeah, now whenever somebody goes up,
that's it.
Yeah, we all can make the call from our living room. I have a second. Steve Kerr's a local resident and one of the friends of everybody here in town. Maybe he doesn't know what he's going to do, but what do you think's going to happen? It sounded a lot like a goodbye talk to Curry and Draymond after the game the other night.
Yeah, it really did. It kind of caught me a little bit off guard because I just kind of assumed that those 3 would go out together, that, they were going to do what they needed to do to kind of align their respective contracts together, and that's how it would go. But I think, we already saw Klay Thompson exit that group. Draymond Green knows, he's openly spoken about, hey, I could be traded at any time. I think the only guy who knows I'm going to finish, definitely one way or another as a Warrior if I want to is Stephen Curry. So I think Steve Kerr may be looking at it. And I wonder with Steve Kerr if he's like, hey, I just, do I want to continue to do this year over year? I kind of hope he's back. I want to see, them kind of rework that team again, try to get back at it. And I would love to see those 3 guys, go out together. I'd love it if even Klay came back for a year and the 4 of them went out together. I think that'd be perfect. But, we'll kind of see, how that goes together. But yeah, I think it's very much up in the air right now.
How many rings does Steve Kerr have now? He had the Spurs. He had the 3, I think, with Chicago and the 4 with the Warriors. He's about 8 or 9 now, I think.
Yeah, he's at least at 9. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still behind Phil Jackson, though. Those guys all won a lot. Hey, thanks, Keith. Great talking to you. Congratulations on hitting the shot in 87 and then going on to the greatness that you have done here with Spot Track. Good catching up with you, sir.
Well, it's either that or I made the Clerks movie. Those are the 2 I guess.
There's another, Kevin.
Either way,
yeah.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, you're in good company, sir. Thank you, sir, for the time.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
You betcha. Keith Smith from Spot Track there. That's funny. See, Adam? I'm not the only guy that called him Keith Smart. He gets called Keith Smart all the time. I don't know why. For some reason, it just flowed incorrectly off the tongue.
Probably because he's got the same first name and the same initial of the last name. That's why.
The same number of letters in the last name. Maybe that has something. I don't know. NBA news right now, according to Ime Udoka, head coach of Houston, Kevin Durant went through about half of the Rockets' practice today and will be a game-time decision, aren't we all, for their game 2 tomorrow night against the Lakers. So there you have that. Now, Adam's a happy guy, although we'll probably lose him for the rest of the show. He's got the Brave game on. So you're right where you would be if you were – actually, you're in better shape than if you were at home. You'd be running around chasing your kids at home. Here, you're watching the game. You should be happy you're working today. I was looking for the
big inning, and they don't have big inning on yet. I love big inning. Quad box on the MLB app.
But do you watch that on your phone? It's not big enough to see anything.
Yeah, I watch. I'm a degenerate, Chris.
Yes, you are, and I don't mind, and I appreciate that. I'm, though, when like NFL Red Zone goes to the triple box, I can't follow it all. Like, I'd rather just wait 30 seconds. And
I can't imagine you like the Octabox then on Red Zone.
No, I don't. And the sports mix on DirecTV where they're showing 9 channels at once. Can't watch that. Give me one at a time. More Gwynn and Chris ahead. Chris versus the fans. If you want to play some trivia and win prizes, 833-288-0973. Call in.
Now, Craig Stammen joins us here, Padres' new manager. And Craig, listen, I've had the opportunity to play for 2 managers that were in their first year, Don Mattingly and the late Ryan Sandberg in Philadelphia. Both of them had their struggles. Even though these are the best of the best type of players, they had their struggles. Where do you see yourself in terms of your staff and leaning on your staff to kind of be able to help you in those first year kind of struggles that many managers deal with at some
Yeah,
point?
you're right. I'm going to lean on my staff a lot. And I remember having, small conversations with Bob Melvin about some of this stuff. And he was talking about some of the things he wished he knew when he was a first-year manager. And this was way back when I wasn't even thinking about this. We were just kind of talking. And he's like, I wish that I wouldn't have tried to do everything myself. He said, I felt like I had to be involved in everything and I had to be a part of every decision. And he goes, it's just not the case. He goes, there's a few things that I do need to be in charge of and as the manager, but I got good people around me. If I got good people around me, I just got to be able to trust them.
Right.
That'll be the hard part, but we're going to build that trust within the clubhouse, within the coaching staff. So I'm not doing it all myself. We're going to share responsibility. We're going to share the successes. I'll take the blame, and then we'll see where the dust settles. But I'll, obviously, hopefully gain a lot of experience where we get to the end of the season and we're in that playoff hunt.
Yeah.
That we're rolling and we're humming and we got a good process going.
Now, you mentioned, kind of building off what Mike has done here the last couple of years, adding to his legacy. You obviously have your own strengths, though. Where do you see your strengths being able to be applied to this ball club and how it may be of help?
Yeah, Mike had so much experience of organizing, how to be a great baseball team. He'd been mentored by many great managers, and he'd taken a lot from those guys. And I just listened to what he had to say about that stuff, and I saw how he did it, observing and listening to how he kind of went about his business. So a lot of the things that he did, I'm going to probably keep doing the same thing. What I think I can add is maybe just I'm a little younger. I got a little bit more energy.
Yeah.
I've got some relationships within the clubhouse that are maybe a little bit different. Does that give me the avenue to push them in a little bit different way or like sneak in there to get them to do a few things that they haven't been quite open to in the past, maybe I don't know. We'll find out. But, I'm going to treat them, with respect and hopefully get that respect back. And we're going to try to make this team as best they can be.
Craig Stammen joins us here, Padres' new manager. And Craig, you're clearly coming this with your eyes wide open with this situation. I heard you say partnering on multiple occasions up on the stand there. What does that look like for the fans who are listening and may not know what partnering looks like? What exactly is that?
Yeah, partnering, it's a give and a take. We have relationships with our families, our moms, our dads, our wives, our kids. It's not always my way or the highway.
Right.
There's got to be, even in this decision to become the manager, there was a lot of give and take with me and Audrey, deciding what was important to her and what we were going to miss by taking this, what was important to me, what I was going to miss in this, and then coming to a decision that works best for both of us. And I think those types of things can happen throughout the year with players, trying to get them on the field to do certain things in practice or in the game, but like partnering them in the way that's like, it's not just my decision.
Right.
We're in this together. We're accomplishing a goal together. It's not my, championship that we're going to win. It's our championship. It's the Padres championship. It's AJ's, it's John's, it's Eric's, it's Manny's, it's Tatis.
Right.
It's all of ours together. It's Ruben's. We share that success together. I'll handle the blame, and then we'll do this together.
Last one, I'll let you get out of here. I know you got a busy day ahead of you. Mike Shildt did a terrific job of really shielding his players. He always was the man taking all the arrows coming at the ball club. But you also mentioned being able to push the guys. What does that look like? Because I think oftentimes fans hear, managers take the arrows and they're under the impression that there isn't any, pushing going on the backside of that. What does that look like sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, we got great players. So, like, the amount of pushing I need to do is limited.
Right.
But we can give them new ideas on how to navigate a season. And Mike was so good at, like, handling the players and taking the arrows, like you said, in the media and throughout the season and pumping those guys up and making them feel great. But there's ways that like maybe they haven't been exposed to, and that's what we're going to challenge our staff to do, is come up with creative ways to keep Manny Machado, healthy for a
Right.
full season. Xander Bogaerts healthy for a full season as they get a little older in age, and can we have guys peaking at the right time and stuff like that? Just like open to new ideas and creative ideas, and the players will be partnering with that with the
Right.
coaching staff to create something that we think will build us a championship team.
Now, Craig Stammen joins us here, Padres' new manager. And Craig, listen, I've had the opportunity to play for two managers that were in their first year, Don Mattingly and the late Ryan Sandberg in Philadelphia. Both of them.
Ready to go.
Right back on the beam here at 4 o'clock on Gwynn and Chris, #1 sports station in San Diego. Thanks to all you out there. That would be 97.3 The Fan. If you miss any part of the show, you can go back, download any segment, interview at 97.3thefan.sd.com. Coming up, Chris versus the fans. I'm Chris Ello. Mr. Gwynn is out today, as is Mr. Scraby. Mr. Klug, Adam Klug, sitting in nicely. Coming up, a chance for you to win or be qualified to win our grand prize in Chris versus the fans. That would be a pair of field-level seats to a Padre Philly game. Not bad. On Memorial Day. Speaking of Petco Park, before we get to it, Sports Business Awards from SBJ, is that the Sports Business Journal, has nominated Petco Park for Sports Facility of the Year. When will that be announced? I don't know when it's announced. Who are they up against? Like, is this a worldwide award? Adam, I'm asking you because I don't know.
Yeah, I know you're asking. I didn't click on the story. You
didn't go further into it.
They're
You
actually so Petco Park at Petco Park tweeted this out, and
Right.
there is no link to the story.
Okay.
It's just the graphic. Maybe I should go to the SBJ's.
We might have to go to
Twitter
the
feed.
Sports Business Journal. I just want to see.
I'll report back.
You can report back, yeah. But I'm just curious. This is a worldwide. Like, are we up against Wembley Stadium, or are we just up against, the mistake by the lake and stuff like that? We don't know. Petco Park is an awfully
What we
fun
do
place
know
to
is
go.
that Petco Park was nominated.
Yes, Petco Park will be in the running for it. You know what? I just, every now and again, I slip down the pathway to where would we all be if it wasn't for Larry Lucchino and those folks getting that stadium done. I don't know where we'd be. I don't know if we'd have any teams here, and that scares the daylights out of me. Thanks to Ron Fowler, Peter Seidler, all those since who have kept the Padres going, and now you fans have made, Petco Park the #1 of the #1 places in all of baseball. I mean, a lot of people say that. I hear it all the time. Best baseball experience, Petco Park. Winner. And that includes a lot of pretty good play. Oh, you know what I heard today, though? And I wonder if this has to do with his time here. I heard an interview with Anthony Rizzo, former Cub. Started his career as a Padre, got like 2 hits as a Padre, and eventually got shipped out of here. And we never saw him again until the Cubs won a World Series with him. Anthony Rizzo was asked the worst fans in baseball by somebody in a podcast. And he said, you guys. That's right, you guys at Petco Park. Said the worst. Like, really? I've never heard anyone say that. Except maybe a Dodger fan might say that just as part of the kind of the rivalry. But we don't come up in the same breath as, well, see, Rizzo played for the Cubs, so he's not going to take the bleacher bums. But really, have you ever heard that negative of a slam on the San Diego fans?
No.
I have not either.
I am ready to report back to you, though.
What do you got?
Did some research.
Thank you,
on the
Adam.
fly.
Good.
So the winner will be announced at the 19th Annual Sports Business Awards on May 20th.
It's a month away.
Here are the finalists for Sports Facility of the Year.
All right.
Crypto.com Arena,
Formerly Staples Center.
Boo.
Yeah.
Lindner Family Tennis Center, MetLife Stadium.
Whoa. Lindner Family Tennis Center?
So now you're going to make me look up what that is, huh?
No, you don't have to, but I'm just saying that seems misplaced, but go ahead. No, don't look it up. We don't care that much.
It's some tennis club in Mason, Ohio.
All right, I bet it's lovely.
MetLife Stadium.
Which is not MetLife Stadium for the World Cup. It'll be New York, New Jersey Stadium.
Dump.
Because the World Cup won't let it be called MetLife.
Dump.
Yeah.
Petco Park.
Yeah.
Progressive Field. Is that where the
Cleveland.
Guardians play?
Yeah.
And Spectrum Center.
I don't know which one that is. Philadelphia? Used to be Philadelphia. Played in the Spectrum. I don't know what the Spectrum Center is, though. I think Petco wins that in a rout. I don't even think it's close.
I think.
Huh?
If I'm not mistaken, the Spectrum Center is like a shopping area in Irvine.
Well, it can't be a shopping area. This is top stadiums.
It says sports facility here, so that can't be right.
Yeah, right.
I'll just go out on a limb. Oh, wait, hold on. Spectrum Center's an indoor arena in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, Petco's winning this.
Petco's winning this, right?
Yeah.
Runaway.
Yeah, May 20th. We'll why don't we'll send Scraby up for the live report.
Cover the awards.
Yeah, where are the awards? I mean, we're really getting too much of this information, but now we're kind of knee deep in it. Location?
I think it's riveting.
Probably not. While you're looking it up, let's play Chris versus the fans. That's what everybody came here for.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we're going to do a little Chris versus the fan here. Scraby usually leads all the rules and stuff. They're lengthy. You know how it goes. You get 3 questions. You get it right,
you
move
read
on.
On behalf of Scraby?
No, I think I got it.
Okay.
You get it right, you move on. If you get it wrong, then I can eliminate you. But if I miss the question, then you stay alive. If you get to 3, you are the winner. And if you're first time player, you got to tell us, and then you'll get the first question for free. And we mentioned already the winner today will be qualified for the grand prize drawing, a pair of field level seats. See Padres, Phillies, Memorial Day. All right, Adam Klug, you want to bring people on and do all of that? You're very good at all this.
Sure, let's go. Let's bring on Ron and Del Cerro.
Hey, Del Cerro. Hi, Ron.
Hey, guys. How are you?
We're very good, sir. Thank you for joining us today, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Adam will read question number 1.
Here we go. Which player currently has a 51-game on-base streak?
Currently in Major League Baseball.
Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's current.
I just read this and I'm blanking out.
Oh, no.
Oh, Ohtani.
There you go. You won't be sending Scraby to the Sports Business Awards. They're in New York, so he's not going.
Second question.
Yeah. We don't have the budget for that.
This is a Scraby question, so I'm going to add a little parenthetical documentation on the end.
Okay.
Context. How many games do NBA players have to play in order to qualify for postseason awards? My qualification? Unless you apply for a...
Unless you apply for it, and they change their mind. Yeah.
They let you do it even if you don't play, but what's the number there?
What was the number?
How many are you supposed to play?
I heard you guys talking about it, but I don't remember. I'm going to guess 60.
I just missed it, Ron. 65 is the answer, and Del Cerro is one of my favorite parts of town. So thanks for joining us, sir. I do like Del Cerro. It's nice. All right, next up, Adam Klug.
We got Scott in Carlsbad.
All right. A little Carlsbad action here. Hi, Scott.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, very good. Very good. Thanks for joining us.
It's
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Scott and Curran.
Oh, apologies for that.
Scott and Karen, did he say?
No, I think... No, he's not.
Scott and Curran.
Not in Carlsbad.
Oh, got it.
Here we go. Which Padres starting pitcher has the most wins so far this season?
Starting pitcher, leading the team in victories.
Michael King has 3-1.
Michael King at 3-1. Wow, he gave you more information than you even needed, Adam. He's
Didn't
on
even
it.
ask for his full record. We'll take
Well
it.
done.
Michael King, correct answer.
Mhm.
Let's go. Question number 2.
Correct. Continue. Say.
Which 2 New York-based baseball teams moved to California in 1958?
1958.
The Dodgers and the Giants.
Yeah,
That's why the bets are orange
and blue. Yeah, you got it. Scott's
All right.
giving us all kinds
We're
of
on to
stuff.
round 3. You might not even get a chance to answer here, Chris.
I don't mind. I like when we have an impressive performance like this.
I'll give you a question. I believe you have if I did the math right, 20% chance of getting this one right.
All right.
Which NL Central team is a perfect 6-0 in one-run games since Graby wrote this question?
We hope that they
I don't know
still
that it's
are.
wrong. I'm just qualifier. Probably wrote it on Friday. You don't know what happened on the weekend.
NL, you said?
NL Central team, perfect 6-0 in one-run games.
Won all their one-run games so far this year. Who would it be?
That's the Cardinals.
It's going over the
I'm gonna
team.
go with the,
Having a discussion.
I'm going to go with the.
Over teams. He said.
Who do we got?
I don't need to go over the teams. I'm going to go with the total guess. I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Hold on. Let's see if Chris can get it right.
Yeah, it's going to be a total guess for me as well. How about the Reds? Oh, man,
Sorry
I feel
about
bad now.
Thanks
That
for
was
playing.
a total guess. I had no idea. Good for the Rojos de Cincinnati.
All right, let's go to Chris in San Diego.
Good job, Scott. And he also sounded like he had his son with him
Yes, he
there.
did.
I appreciate them giving it a good shot. I like
Very
when
fun game. The kids love these
I like
games.
when the fans.
My son is a huge fan.
I like when the families come together to play a little Chris versus the fans. That's good. All right, who'd we get here?
We have Chris in San
Chris
Diego.
versus Chris. Okay. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hey, how you guys doing? I got my son too. So
Oh, good. All right. Well, let's go. Let's go to the experts.
family
here.
program.
Yeah, let's go to the experts.
Here we go. Which Padre drove in the first run of the game in the 8th inning against the Angels on Saturday night?
Saturday night's game we're going back to now.
Oh, I don't remember.
Your son will remember, maybe, if he stayed up that late. He's not helping. He's not helping you.
Jackson Merrill.
Jackson. Campusano, I think.
Your boy, Luis Campusano.
My memory's not great. But oh, it wasn't him.
It was not. It was Ramon Laureano.
Damn, good for you.
Razor Ramon.
Chris, good for you. All right,
Moving
you
on
stay
to
alive.
the
See?
second round. Here
I
we
get
go.
confused. Mariano.
Which NBA team was the last to win back-to-back titles?
Something that OKC is hoping to do.
I don't watch the NBA, but I'm going to go with Golden State.
Golden State.
Hit it.
Nice
It's
job.
a fair question because there's not been a repeat winner for like 10 years, right? Something like that. It's like 7 or 8 years in a row it's been a different team, and that had never happened before in NBA history, where it's been, you know what I mean? Like all different teams for 7, 8 years.
Yeah, they felt like they were the last dynasty.
You got it. You nailed it. Good job, Chris.
Gravy wrote a lot of NBA questions in here. I'm
Well, you
gonna
got
go
the
with let's stick with
playoff.
a baseball question though.
All right. You and your...
The Padres have won 5 straight series.
Oh, boy.
Name 4 out of the 5
Oh,
teams
name 'em all.
they've won series against.
I bet his son can do it.
We got Padres fans here. They should answer this.
All right. Angels.
Correct.
Rockies. Pittsburgh. Who else is in there?
God, it only needs one more, right, Adam?
That's correct.
All right.
Pittsburgh and who else did we play? Played Boston.
You nailed it. Chris, congratulations. You and your son have won the big ball game today. Chris versus the fans, you can say you're a champion. Your son can as well. Adam Klug, by the way, is in the process of making up T-shirts for us. No, he's not. But we did ask him like 30 years ago if that was a possibility, and he pretty much said no. Anyway, congrats. Stay on the line. Hopefully you'll win the prize at the end, and you and your son can go see the Padres and Phillies at Petco Park on Memorial Day. Who is the fifth team, Adam? Do we need to name that?
The Mariners.
The Mariners. That's right. A sweep of the M's.
The Vetter Cup, taking the lead in that.
You're the one that said to me that the Vetter Cup is kind of fading from view.
I think when Eddie Vedder rooted against the Padres in the playoffs, that kind of...
I think that was all we...
Didn't help too much.
That was all we needed to know. All right, we got a couple of minutes here at the tail end of the Chris versus the fans. I was looking at the standings, and I know that we're all looking at the top. But have you seen a couple of oddities so far this season, Adam Klug? One, the entire NL Central is over 500. They're not only over 500, they're all at least 3 games over 500. That is an oddity, would you not say?
I think it's also interesting because the Cardinals are 13-8, and they were a team that most people, thought was going to be rebuilding. Obviously, they traded away Nolan Arenado.
Right.
Not that he's still, at his heights, but they were kind of signaling that they were.
Everybody said they'd be rebuilding. I agree.
The Pirates are 13-9, but people kind of at least saw that coming.
We were
right?
seeing we were thinking that the Pirates might take a few steps up this year. The Brewers and Cubs, who were the 2 playoff teams last year, are actually at the bottom, but they're, like I said, they're 12-9. So they're both having, good success, just not as much as the other teams.
And look, for as bad as the Mets are, we talked about them earlier in the show, having lost 11 in a row. They're 7-15. The Houston Astros are 8-15. They're only half a game better.
The thing with the Astros, though, they've been taking on water, I feel, for a couple of years. You can only lose so many Carlos Correas and give me some of the other, you know what I mean? All the pitchers, Framber Valdez,
George Springer.
There you go.
Alex Bregman.
Thank you. You said what I was trying to say. Yeah, you can't keep losing.
Cole.
You can't keep using all these people and expect your team to be just as good. It's not going to happen. I think the biggest surprise, though, in the negative side, if I had to say, well, even the Blue Jays are in the World Series,
8-13,
but I don't find them to be as surprisingly bad right now as the team your Braves just swept.
Phillies.
Yeah, Phillies are struggling big time, and they're doing it. They're struggling because they can't score in that ballpark with those sluggers. That surprises me maybe as much as anything.
And the
right
Phillies
now.
owe something like $800 million to 5 or 6 players over the next couple of years.
It seems like a lot of those guys are aging quickly. Yeah, except Schwartz. I mean, Schwartz is still putting up his thing. He's got 7-8 home runs, but you're not hearing anything from Trey Turner really anymore.
No.
You're not hearing.
Remember Dave Dombrowski said that Bryce Harper was an elite last year, and that kind of got him upset, but he hasn't played that well.
He hasn't been elite yet.
Nola, Jesus Luzardo, Zach Wheeler's been injured.
He's hurt. The one guy that also they brought in Adolis Garcia to take Castellanos' spot, they might as well have kept Castellanos. Adolis Garcia hasn't done anything.
They're still paying Castellanos.
Yeah, it's early. It's 20 games, and those things tend to change. But at least to this point, there's certainly some early season surprises. By the way, the old NL Central's over 500. Nobody in the AL West is over 500. The old AL West, nobody is over. Texas is tied for first with the Athletics, the team without a home. They are tied for first place. So anyway, that's how early in the year it is.
It is funny. You look at the standings on ESPN's website, and every single team has a city, the Tampa Bay Rays, or a state, the Minnesota Twins. It just says Athletics.
And that's the way it has to be.
They won't embrace Sacramento.
They won't even allow it to be anything else. Yeah, I don't totally get that. By the way, the best run differential team in the big leagues by a wide margin is your Bravos.
Yep.
57 runs. They're not giving up anything. They got like a 2.6 team ERA. Sorry, Adam. That won't hold up in this day and age. But right now, pitching lights out. More Gwynn and Chris coming up after we check some traffic. lead the series 1-0. Hawks, Knicks. Adams getting set, 5 o'clock. His guy, Jalen Johnson, who he says is just as dynamic as Jalen Brunson.
Did not say that.
Will try to get his team even tonight at MSG. Later tonight, T-Wolves Nuggets. Lakers play game 2 tomorrow against the Rockets. Rockets coach saying today that Durant is, shockingly, a game-time decision. We are coming to you from the Bill House Studios, where we know how, and we're happy to be. No Tony today, no Scraby today. Chris Ello along with Mr. Klug. Padres on their way to, well, they're not on their way. They got to be there by now, unless they walked after the game last night. They're in Denver, where they're going to play the Rocks tomorrow night. Rockies will play a game tonight against the Dodgers, a game that if the Rockies happen to win again, they've already won 2 in the series. Padres would then be tied for first. That would also give your Braves a chance at the best record in baseball if they win tonight in Washington, D.C.
And for those just tuning in, Edwin Diaz has been placed on the IL.
That is probably the biggest news of the day. The only negative to me is that it sounds like he'll be going doing some arthroscopic thing, according to Bob Nightingale anyway.
It's on ESPN as well, according to Eldon Gonzalez.
All right.
Arthroscopic surgery, 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, 2 to 3 months sounds terrible, but just means he's going to be back for the stretch drive. And it's not like the Dodgers can't live without him. How many closers do they have already? The funny thing is they paid Tanner Scott all that money to be their closer. They've been using Vesia in that role anyway. So we'll see what the Dodgers do. No Edwin Diaz for a while.
We've spoken quite a bit today about the Dodgers and the Rockies. Haven't really mentioned Dalton Rushing. Did you see his comments from over the weekend?
Yes, he said the Rockies are cheating, but I didn't understand how they could be cheating, but only on the first pitch, he says.
Here are Dalton Rushing. He's the catcher for the Dodgers. Here are his comments over the weekend.
I think it could have been a little bit of both sides. I think they had a good game plan as an opposing team. And maybe I pitched into their game plan as far as calling pitches. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's odd. Some of those hitters that do what they do, they go up there and they were only the first pitch that was thrown. So it's fishy, but.
All right, so it was hard to hear that, but I'm just going to tell you, he said it was a little fishy that some of the Rocky hitters were going up there and it appeared that they knew the first pitch was going to be thrown. Okay. But they wouldn't know the second or third pitch, right? Only the first one. And it's hard for me to believe the Rockies of all teams have been cheating. They can't hit their way out of a paper bag. I mean, I believe that if they got onto something yesterday, that it was probably the fault of the Dodgers more than the Rockies just. I don't get it.
So when the Rockies were throughout the game, they scored 9 runs on 15 hits, and they were doing this throughout they're pretending like they were reeling in with a fishing rod and reeling it in and taking shots at Dalton Rushing's comments for calling him fishy.
Oh yeah. Oh, so he said this before the game yesterday.
The Rockies are trolling Dalton Rushing.
Good.
Now.
I don't think it's bad for them to do that. I think that's sour grapes. It really comes off as sour grapes from the Dodgers, who already win every game. And now they're going to tell me that the other team has to be cheating to beat them. I mean, I'm not above thinking it could happen, right? The Astros did that whole thing. I just really hope that kind of stuff is kind of stopped in big league baseball. And if you're able to steal a sign the normal everyday way, there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's almost encouraged.
Stealing signs is not illegal.
Yes, that's
using electronic measures and
slamming a trash can together. Yeah.
Well, not just the slamming the trash. They were using a TV monitor, and that's illegal.
I find it hard to believe the Rockies just now discovered cheating because they've been one of the worst teams in the history of the sport for 30 years, at least. All right, they won. That's funny. So they were actually just giving the fishing to Dalton Rushing. Bet he was loving that. Hey, to the victors go the spoils.
For what it's worth, Dave Roberts disagreed with Dalton Rushing, and he did not accuse them of cheating.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that. No, that's good to Dave Roberts. I'll say one thing. I did see some of the highlights of the game yesterday. The Rockies looked a little more excited than normal to be winning that game. So that's probably what it came down to. More Gwynn and Chris coming up. Big 5 time. And I don't know if we're going to talk about it in the Big Five, but what has happened to our SDFC, Adam Klug? You're my professional soccer expert.
They've lost 3 in a row.
What's going on? Can't beat anybody.
Going
all
through
of a
kind
sudden.
of the trials and tribulations that most teams go through in their inaugural
right.
season.
We thought this would be happening last year.
They got to skip over that.
Yeah. All of a sudden, they can't beat anyone. We're coming back.
Gwynn and
At this Saturday, Padres will be in Mexico City. Scraby and I will be at Mavericks Beach Club in Pacific Beach. We're going to be watching the San Diego-Arizona game. In the Mexico City series, it's presented by South Norte Tequila Cocktails. Mavericks will feature deals on South Norte's premium tequila cocktails while you take in the ball game. Come on, hang out with us. Watch some baseball. Enjoy South Norte Tequila Cocktails made with real tequila and real juice. That is Saturday from 2:30 to 4:30. Myself and Scraby, Mavericks Beach Club, PB 820, I think you said Garnett Avenue earlier.
I think 860.
860. It's in the 800 block.
I even kept the page open on my computer. So
You
I could be
did,
responsible.
just so you could go back to
860 Garnett Avenue.
Thank you very much. That's Adam Klug. I'm Chris Ello. Tony Gwynn and Mr. Scraby are off today. We're coming up on the Big Five, and included in the Big Five, we're going to tackle what has happened all of a sudden to our SDFC C's. I don't know what to call them. I still can't get that when I know soccer's how it is. So I got to
It'd be
get
nice
used
if
to
they
it.
had like a team name or a mascot.
I'm still not used to it because I'm expecting to say the mascot, but there is none to
The
say.
Fighting FCs.
Something. They're not fighting very hard at the moment. Let's see what happens in the Big Five after traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com.
Traffic easing up a bit. Remember, heavy enforcement today. If you're taking 5 southbound, slow traffic as you make your way from 8 in stretches toward 163.
This traffic report is brought to you by Frozen Ropes Baseball and Softball Training Facilities. Register for Frozen Ropes Baseball Summer League with 8 games and 8 practices for ages 6 to 12. And receive $50 off your registration fee at SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com. That's SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. Usually Scraby talks now, so I was waiting.
I'm happy to talk now if you'd like.
Big Five? What do we usually say about now? Is it brought to you by anybody?
No.
No.
We just go like this.
Number 5.
And then I have to switch the music like that.
Good job. I don't know why we, don't just. Never mind.
The Fighting FCs.
Yeah, come
SDFC.
on, guys. What's happening?
Lost to Real Salt Lake by a score of 4-2 over the weekend, allowing 2 goals in the first 6 minutes of the game.
And that was
the
one
match. Excuse me.
The match. Well, the whole key coming into the match, they had gotten a red card in like every game recently. So everything's like, don't get a red card.
Why do you think we call them the Fighting FCs?
Right,
Chris?
they're the Fighting FCs. Yeah, they didn't get a red card. They just gave up 2 goals before the game even got going.
It was SDFC's 3rd loss in a row, and they've scored 3 total goals in the 3 losses. Chris, should the Fighting FCs bring back Chucky Lozano,
to
who
save
is
the
still
day
on the roster?
Save the day. I'm only speaking based on the knowledge I've gotten from all of our weekly MLS contributors who come on every Thursday, and they've all said the same thing. You can't bring him back now. Like, to me, you've already gone to the mat on it. You've already just
Tail between the legs. Can't do
right.
it.
You can't. You've already said, you know what? This guy doesn't fit with what we're trying to do. I mean, they suspended him last year before the playoff. They snuck him in there a little bit. I don't think that really helped. I think for whatever's going on behind the scenes, we don't even need to know what it is, nor will we know. But yeah, this guy doesn't fit. So if you've made that determination that Chucky Lozano is not part of what you have going forward, and Tyler Heaps has said it, and Mikey Veras has said it, and everybody's been interviewed basically has said the same thing. It looked really bad. What would the rest of the team think if you bring him back now after all that? So, no, I don't think it's best. I think you got to take your lumps right now, figure out a way to play better again. And I think this comes down to, very simply, Adam, getting your mojo back. SDFC had that for a year plus. Not only have they lost 3 in a row, 6 matches in a row that they have not won. They had 2 ties in there, 3 losses, and then they had the loss in the Champions Cup in there as well. So
CONCACAF.
Right. 6 in a row that they haven't won. And a couple of those, they blew the lead like right at the end of the game. I think that honestly, the mojo's gone and they got to get it back. That's all.
They've lost that love and feeling.
Number 4.
All right. Who are you, Hall or Oates?
Royals manager Matt Quatraro gave his struggling catcher Salvador Perez a day off on Saturday to rest. When asked about his reasoning, Quatraro told reporters that Perez has been struggling and he needed a mental breather. That comment didn't sit well with Perez, who tweeted afterwards, "I don't need a mental breather." Perez also posted a link on his Instagram to a Spanish story on the subject, but labeled it with the word fake in English for everybody to read. Yesterday, Quatraro and Perez said they were on the same page. Chris, Salvador Perez taking exception to his manager on Saturday. Big deal, little deal, or no deal?
I think it's a middle deal. Did you say, was that a choice?
No, I said big deal, little deal, or no deal. So middle would be little.
Little, yeah, little deal. Well, I think bigger than a little deal. So whatever's between bigger and little.
I didn't give that as a choice.
You didn't give it a choice. I'm going off the board. I'm going off the board for a middle deal.
There will be repercussions.
I know there will. I'll probably get fired. I think it's a deal because it just shows like the lack of communication between your manager and your star player. I don't know why can't people of that level talk to each other. Right? Didn't managers, I'm asking you, but managers used to say, "Hey, Perez, get in the office. I got to ask you something." And they have a little talk and they figure something and then he goes, "Hey, what do you think about a mental break?" I don't think so. I kind of think maybe it would help. I'm good. Let me,
I wonder if the word mental maybe didn't sit
right
with him
maybe
either.
that.
What about just a break?
Yeah, I'm just saying, but to just give him a break and then tell everybody he needed one, I understand why you'd feel some type of way. If you're Perez, I do. So I think this is on the manager 100%. Communicate. I think we can still send him a text if you have to. DM him, something to let him know that that's what you're doing.
Who's the manager of the Royals?
Quartaro or something. I don't know. It's a weird name. I don't know. Yeah, that guy.
All right, I'll give it to you.
He keeps doing that. He's not going to be the manager for long. I'll tell you that.
Number 3.
The New York Football Giants traded defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals for the 10th overall pick in Thursday's NFL draft. Lawrence recently requested a trade after the two sides failed to agree on a new contract. Since he immediately signed Lawrence to a 1-year contract extension for $28 million, he had 2 years remaining on his deal, so they've locked him up he's locked up for the next 3 seasons. Lawrence made 3 straight Pro Bowls from 2022 to 2024 and was second-team All-Pro in 22 and 23, but he had a career low in tackles and sacks this past season with just half of a sack. Chris, which side do you think got the better of this deal, the Giants or the Bengals?
G-Man.
I should have known that. You're such a big draft guy.
Yeah, I know nothing about all this stuff. When is the draft?
Thursday night.
I know.
Well,
I should know.
Guy.
I should know. ESPN promotes it like it is happening in an hour everywhere you look. In fact, the pregame show, I'm going to give you a little help here on the pregame show of this NHL playoff game. They had the pregame show on the screen, but in a box up in the corner. And on the left side in the bottom of the screen, they had NFL draft preview stuff while they were getting ready to show an NHL game. This 3 days before the draft even happens. I don't get it, Adam. I know you're a graph freak, and you could maybe try to explain it to me, but I don't think I would, understand it. But I think the Giants will do better here because I think Lawrence is kind of fading. Maybe he'll get reborn in Cincinnati, but nobody gets reborn there.
People go to,
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of a graveyard.
I don't know. You know what I heard about the Giants, though? I don't think we've talked about it, but I've heard
Odell Beckham.
Well, I saw that too, and I don't care. That's so much ado about nothing. But what is to do about something is people are saying in New York that John Harbaugh is trying to figure out a way now to get rid of the guy who would, not the GM.
Shane. Shane.
Get rid of Shane because Harbaugh's having trouble negotiating what to do, how to figure this out.
Who could have seen that coming?
Right. Remember, they kept Shane as the GM, but said it's Harbaugh's call. And so apparently that's a mess. So, yeah, they're saying Harbaugh's looking to get rid of Shane.
So we'll call him Gino, GM in name only.
Yeah.
Number 2.
The NBA will announce its regular season awards throughout this week, and they released their finalists already. In fact, they named the Defensive Player of the Year earlier today. Victor Wembanyama won Defensive Player of the Year, youngest to ever win the award, and first to ever win it unanimously. The MVP finalists are your boy, SGA, Nikola Jokic, your other boy, and the aforementioned Victor Wembanyama. If you were an NBA voter, Chris, how would you rank these 3 finalists?
I'm not good enough to really make the kind of intelligent decision I would like to make on this because I didn't watch enough. I do have the thing that SGA drives me nuts. He gets every call. He pushes off.
And you hate Jokic's triple doubles.
Jokic gets triple doubles only because he has the ball on every possession, and I think he is doing things that nobody else has ever done. But I just don't think anybody else ever cared to do it. Wilt Chamberlain probably could have led the league in assists if he wanted to. It's one of those weird things to me. Wembanyama came out and said he's the MVP. So I'll give it to him. I don't want the other 2 have won it enough. Do they have to keep winning? How many's Jokic won already? 3? 4?
2 or 3?
10? Jokic,
Number 1.
the Joker, man. He's something, but I'm going to go with Wembanyama just for the hell of it.
The Warriors lost to the Suns by 15 points in the play-in tournament on Friday night, ending their season and putting the future of their legendary core in question. Steve Kerr isn't under contract for next season. Draymond Green has a player option, but wants an extension. Steph Curry is entering the final year of his deal, as is Jimmy Butler, who tore his ACL in January and will likely miss a good chunk of next season. If you ran the Warriors, would you try to keep this group together or begin dismantling their championship core?
Yeah, I got to go with Branch Rickey on this one. Remember Branch Rickey? He was the famous general manager of the Dodgers. He brought in Jackie Robinson, but the other thing that Branch Rickey said famously is I'd rather let a guy go a year too soon than a year too late. And I think you have to go there with the Warriors. They barely hung on this year. They got in there as the 10 seed. I know they would have been higher if Butler was there, but Draymond Green can show flashes, as he did in that Clipper game, of playing to that Draymond Green level, but he can't sustain it at this point. I think Steve Kerr is great coach as he's been, and I'm really always been such a huge fan. After all, how can Steve Kerr not know what to do? He was coached by Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich. Not bad. And I think Steve Kerr listened and learned a lot of that stuff, which he's brought to the Warriors. But I think it's time for the bust up the Warriors. And I think I would do it. I'd keep Curry. With his blessing, though, I would say I'm really thinking about, for the best part of this team, can you help me transition to the next group? And you know what? Curry's still probably good enough that if you put some decent players around him, they could get back to the postseason one more time. But I think their championship window is pretty much closed either way, right? I mean, they're not going to win it with Curry and Butler, so move on. Sorry, it was a nice time in NBA history, but it's over. Hate to be the hardcore bearer of bad news.
The Warriors to bed.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I respect what they accomplished. I do. But, the Bulls finally just called it, right? 98. They just dismantled the team and fired the coach. Michael Jordan would not have retired if they would have kept Pippen and, brought Rodman back and stayed with Phil Jackson. For some reason, the Bulls just got tired of winning the NBA title, so they said, we're dismantling the team. We can't stand Phil Jackson anymore. Okay, so Michael Jordan said, I'm not playing. I mean, they just basically said, forget it.
How have the Bulls been since that 98
Yeah, it's worked out pretty well for them, hasn't it? I think they've won maybe one playoff series or two since. I take it back. They had a good little run with Derrick Rose, and then he got hurt, so that was bad luck. But yeah, no, that's now 30 years ago. I think people still think the Bulls are a great franchise. The Michael Jordan days are 28 years old now. That's a while ago. So, yeah, it doesn't work out too well. You don't get a championship-level team very often. It's hard. And I am always...
And yet you want to dismantle the
And
Warriors.
I'm always surprised. Yeah, well, because they've kind of shown that they're not there. They're out of it. If they made the finals this year, I would absolutely not dismantle them, but they're not going to be there. They're not even in the playoffs, Adam. Don't make a comparison like that.
No, I just thought you were saying with the Bulls, when you don't get a championship team that often. So when you have one.
Yeah, but I don't think the Warriors have one anymore.
There you go.
So that's that. I mean, I don't know if the Bulls would have won again in 1999, but I think they would have. I think the team that won that year actually was the Spurs with David Robinson's first trip, beat a Knicks team that only got there to the finals because the Bulls were out of the way. Avery Johnson was the hero of that playoff final, if I recall. Avery Johnson. Quick note, since we got a minute before the top of the hour. I believe the transfer portal closes tomorrow. Could be off by 24 hours on that. I think the Aztecs men's team has lost everyone they're going to lose. There's nobody left. Tay Simmons did post today on Instagram that he is indeed staying. So that is official. And I think that's good news. I've heard nothing about Elzy Harrington other than the fact that it looks like he'll be coming back. And I think that's a good place to start. I know it's a lot to replace, but I just believe Brian Dutcher felt like this team needed a whole new direction next year. And I have confidence that he's going to come up with a good group to surround these two guys. It will be interesting to see how Magoon Guath plays at DePaul. Miles Bird plays at Providence, and B.J. Davis plays at Creighton. These guys couldn't go further away from the flow. I don't think if they tried, but they're all in the Big East Conference chasing Connecticut now. So, good luck. The whole portal thing is so tough to negotiate. On the women's side, Naomi Panganiban, who has turned into kind of the hometown hero and star of the women's team, posted this weekend on her Instagram that she is indeed coming back for her junior season. I don't know that as a guy who's part of that team, Adam, that I was 100% convinced Naomi Panganiban would come back after the season she had. So great news for Stacey Terry Hudson's team. The whole portal thing is just a whole nother world, and someday maybe we can get into it more, but I can't imagine how much the lives of all of the people involved have changed over the last 5 years. Happy hour coming up. Should the Padres be happy? How happy should they be with a lot of the stuff? Adam and I are going to break it down. Hey, the happy hour is upon us. Brought to you by GL Pools, the company trusted by thousands of San Diegans. They'll keep the pool sparkling, swim ready, and expertly maintained. Call GL Pools now. Say radio. Free month of service. Chris Ello, without Tony and without Scraby. Got to be honest with you. I was a little, tentative coming in here today without my guys. Felt like Marcel Dion without Charlie Simmer and Dave Taylor. I'm sure there's an LA Kings fan somewhere who gets the reference. But Adam Klug has been just a big old help today and doing a great job. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. And Sammy Levitt will be on to talk some Padres at the bottom of the hour. Also in this segment, I'm giving Adam the credit for it. It was his idea, and I agreed to it. Coming up in 15 minutes, the Worryometer. Did I say it right?
No,
I didn't.
The Worryometer.
The Worryometer.
The Padres Worryometer.
The Worryometer. There it is. So I can't go Worryometer.
Chris, you're the host of the show. You can do whatever you want.
I know, but Worryometer. No, you invented it, so we got to go with it. We're going to bring up several struggling Padres, and we're going to discuss just how worried about them we are. And even though the Padres are 15-7, it is a rather lengthy list of guys you could conceivably be worried about. So that's coming up in about 15. We haven't talked Padres ownership situation today, Adam, at all. And there's nothing new necessarily to report, other than to say that I think the $3.9 billion thing is at least buzzing through the business world. When you consider that, again, the Mets, what was the Mets, 5 years ago? Less than that.
I think it was 21.
Yeah, okay. So 5 years ago.
2.4 million.
Yeah, but so that's 5 years ago. And now we're at 3.9 billion. So there's a nice story on Sportico about this whole thing and why would the Padres be so in demand? And I can't read it because I don't subscribe to Sportico, but Adam sent it to me. I did get a peek at it earlier, but now that I'm going back, they won't let me access it again. But I thought it was pretty, solid stuff. It's interesting to those who find this whole business part of it interesting. But basically, the Padres were not even, according to the story, less than a year ago, they were valued at even less than $3 billion. Like, it's gone up that quickly. And I think the thing that has impressed people in the whatever this industry is that decides how much these teams can go for, I think the things that's impressed people is the fact that the Padres are, quote, a small market team, but they're acting like a big market team. And they're drawing like a big market team. The Padres capped their season ticket sales now. I don't know if everybody's even aware of that. 25,000 season tickets. If you don't have one, you don't get one. You get on the waiting list. The waiting list is for people who do Green Bay Packer tickets, you know what I mean, and pass it down through the family and leave it in wills to the next of kin. But the Padres baseball team now has a waiting list for season tickets.
Attendance is massive for the Padres. Interest is massive. Merchandise.
It's 40,000 a night, and it's automatic almost. They sold out 70 plus of 80 games last year.
Some of the other things this article from Sportico
mentions,
is that they do 150 non-MLB events a year at Petco Park, so they're creating revenue.
Petco Park is a cash cow. The other part that I found,
and they've got a lot of sponsorships. They've got the Motorola.
They were
patches.
the first ones,
correct?
According to the story, the Padres are the first ones to do the sleeve thing. They get $10 million for that Motorola patch. According to the story.
The part of the whole Padres sale that I don't think should be lost when we talk about this is everyone just thinks, oh, well, the Padres are reportedly going to be sold for $3.9 billion.
Right.
Therefore, all these other teams are worth that. And I know people have mentioned it, but it's worth repeating. There have been other Major League Baseball franchises that have been on the market in recent years, and they consequently got pulled off the market because they couldn't fetch the prices that the current owners wanted. And obviously, there's a there's basically a bidding war for the Padres.
It's
not our
That's
team
why,
is worth this much, so is yours. This is a Padres thing.
That's why it went up to 3.9 because of the bidding war, right? I mean, if there was one guy that came in at 3.1, they probably would have been okay eventually, but you keep going up. All right, here's the other thing that I think is not necessarily in the article, but I think it's kind of alluded to. We are the only city in this country that has a baseball team and no other major sports team in the Big Four. The only one.
The Fighting FCs just.
I know the Fighting FCs don't quite make this list, but we're the only one. Every other city that has a baseball team has at least an NHL team, NBA team, or NFL. We're the only one. So we're special in that regard. And I think people who run the Padres, the Seidlers and the people, under, Eric Greupner, obviously at the head of this thing, making money for the franchise. But I think these guys have realized that we are a bit of a special thing going here, and we could take advantage of the fact that we're the, quote, only game in town. And I think that's what appeals to the new ownership coming in. They don't have to beat out somebody else for your attention and your entertainment dollars. If you are a sports fan in San Diego, and there are many of us, if we're going to go to a game, if we're going to save up 120, 30, 40 bucks, whatever it is for 2 tickets now, or, depending where you sit more, we're going to save it up to go to a Padre game. Probably. Not going to save it up to go to an NBA game. There isn't one. So I think that's, a big part of it. But I also think you fans, I said it with the day the story came down. If it wasn't for you fans supporting this team the way you have, and I'm going to say since the COVID, I mean, since the day that the Padres beat the Cardinals to win that thing, and there was, I don't know how many thousands of people, probably people just dying to get out of their house. But do you remember how many people created gridlock around the ballpark that night to celebrate? It's been since that moment for 6 straight years that I've seen this kind of excitement. The gas lamp is buzzing every night there's a Padre game, and that includes Mondays, like off days. Like, it's just always a thing now.
I mean, I'll fast forward a couple years from the moment you mentioned against the Cardinals, but how many places do you have a team where they win a playoff series and you got a player from the team going to a bar, jumping behind the bar and pouring drinks for people? Remember when Will Myers did that after the Padres beat the Dodgers? It was incredible.
Yeah, they could do almost anything after they beat the Dodgers. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, I anyway, look, other teams have great fans. They do. I get it. There's the Mets, the Phillies, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the teams that have been going for hundreds of years. But I think the fans in San Diego have helped make this the attraction that it is. And so I think that you fans deserve a lot of the credit, for the kind of sale price that this went for. And I believe, until I hear him speak, but I believe that Feliciano and his wife, Kwanzaa Smith, I think they're interested in moving here and continuing this thing along. And
there's been reporting that they're moving their business ventures and charitable foundations and stuff like that here if it ends up going through.
So I think they're going to keep spending money. I don't think there's any reason not to, because this I believe it said in the story, and I don't want to speak out of turn here, Adam. That's why I wish I could read it straight from the story. But they talked about the revenue that this team was able to make last year. And it was estimated at, I believe, over $50 million. Is that fair? Can you find the story? Because I don't want to speak out of turn and be wrong. This is too important.
So,
but it says in the story something about this franchise made blah, 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 blah money. And it was a lot.
Yeah, it's...
Can't find it. I'm putting the pressure on you to find it.
Then in 2025, the team posted gross revenues of $530 million.
There we go. I said 50, so 530. That's gross, though.
EBITDA, which is the earnings before interest, tax, deductions, etc., is $20 million, which is obviously a lot lower. Net revenue after revenue sharing and cost of goods was $483 million, which ranked 11th among all 30 teams in baseball.
There's 10 teams that
net
made
revenue.
More. Wait a minute. I know, I got it. So there's 10 teams that made more than 483?
Apparently so.
Yeah, they're going on strike, Adam. They're going
got
on.
the- I mean,
they
the
got to
10
go
and the-
on, whatever they're going to go on.
The 10
players are never going to go for this. These teams make so much money, and the players know it.
The 10 teams ahead of the Padres are the real big market teams.
Yeah.
San Francisco, the Mets, Astros, Braves, Phillies, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Cubs, Yankees, Dodgers.
Yeah, I get all that. I'm just thinking, and we haven't said it much because I don't want to burst anyone's balloon. This is going to be the last season of baseball for a little bit. I don't see any way they're going to solve any of this stuff. The owners are adamant that they don't have two nickels to rub together. Yet Sportico puts right in black and white ink that the Padres made over $400 million last year and ranked 11th. That doesn't make a $236 million payroll sound like very much, does it? I'm just saying, I know it's probably not that simple. Somebody who's really got a business degree and all of this stuff works, and it's on paper and it's not real money, but you can understand the optics to the lay person like myself. Team makes $480, payroll's $250. Payroll should at least stay $250. Seems pretty straight up to me. And when the owners tell the players they don't have two nickels to rub together, the players are going to go, fugazi. They're going to be right, apparently. We got to win we got to have our parade this year, Adam. There may not be another parade for a few years. Padres are 15-7. All is good, isn't it? When we come back after traffic, Adam and I check the Worryometer. What is it?
Worryometer.
We'll all find out what it is together on Gwynn and Chris.
Craig Stammen joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. And Craig, you get asked pretty much. I'm here every day. You get pretty much asked every day about your lineup. There was a couple times I felt in particular that you were messing with everybody out there.
Why don't you ask him what his lineup's going to be the second game instead of opening day lineup?
We're getting close to that particular time. You haven't really had your whole team as a whole to kind of make that kind of decision, but I would guess that you have at least an idea of where you want to go at this point.
Yeah, I have an idea. Tatis, Machado, Mero are going to bat at the top of the lineup somewhere.
Good thinking, Craig.
I told you I wasn't that smart.
Yeah, touche.
But yeah, I think it's been fun. It's fun to go through spring training and try different lineups, try different things, especially with the guys that were gone for the WBC.
Did that make it a little bit easier to try some things because you kind of were forced to?
It definitely made it a lot easier because there's no way you could write a Padres lineup without Manny and Toddy somewhere in the top four, and so being able to try different people in different spots and just see how they took to leading off or took to batting second or batting third, batting in the middle of the lineup and how that looked in Cactus League games. So try to take all that information in and then make a good decision on opening day.
Craig, talking about the fact that you've surrounded yourself with people and you're learning and you're asking, but what kind of thing that said? What kind of things did you feel were important for you as Craig Stammen to try to bring to this job and to this position and situation?
Well, I just tried to be myself, and that was the only thing that I could bring to this situation, this job. And the one benefit I have is I played with a lot of these guys, so they kind of, as long as I wasn't being fake as a player, I am who I was, and I'm trying to be that same person right now. And so that they know they got someone that they can trust and that someone that they can count on, someone that they can talk to. And then also hopefully someone that can put his foot down when he needs to. I think that's part of this role and definitely going to be tough with, some of my best friends. But I think that's also the fun part of it too, is like, who doesn't want to play baseball with their best friends and, figure out a way to win it all.
With this particular group from the pitching side of things, you guys came in, a lot of arms for, a couple of spots. Joe Musgrove sounds like he's not going to be ready for opening day. One of the things I've been trying to impart on people is the difference in how you guys look at it versus how us fans look at it, right? I think we get so excited about opening day and we get our hopes and minds set on that when it's just one of 162.
Right.
How different are things now with kind of the situation with Joe being down, at least at the start, in terms of the competition that you guys have had unfold?
Yeah. You know what? Opening day is special, right? When you get, when you're on a squad for opening day, you made the opening day roster. Like, that is a big thing for players. There's no doubt about that. However, like what you said, it is one of 162. It counts the same as game, 150,
Right.
130, and 120. So we want our best team for the majority of the season, not just on day one. And looking at the pitching staff specifically, we've got a lot of guys that have track records of pitching well in the big leagues, and they're competing for spots in our rotation right now and in the bullpen. And so, we're going to try to keep those guys around as long as we can and give them opportunities throughout the rest of spring training, and then, see where we're at opening day and, go from there. But, so far those guys have pitched really well outside of maybe a few snafus, but, they're in a good spot right now and ready to help us.
Do you have someone in mind for opening day already?
We have, several pitchers in mind for opening day.
It's not going to be you, Tony.
Yeah.
I can guarantee they're going to be me.
Yeah, we got some good pitchers. That's a good thing. We have choices.
There
we
you
have
go.
Many
Fair
guys
enough.
that could do it.
I know we're wrapping this up, and I know you have a lot to do. I want to try to get one question in that hopefully you haven't heard a lot. Have you thought about your first trip out to argue with an umpire in a major situation? Not just chirping, but I mean, something where you got to get out there and really make it happen. If so, have you asked anybody for any ideas or dreamed about how that might look?
It ain't going to look good if it's scripted, put it that way.
Okay.
So, the only thing I'd say is my kids have seen it. Maybe not outside, but my kids have seen it.
They know you got it.
They saw it this morning.
Oh, okay. All right.
If the umpires stop listening, then we, dad mode comes out or whatever. But, it'll happen when it happens.
Okay.
It probably won't be me just getting angry at an umpire. It'll be hopefully me protecting some of our players and showing them that I got their back.
Well, Craig, hey, man, we let you get going, man. We appreciate you coming and spending some time with us. Good luck this year. You got a whole city behind you, my friend.
Yep, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we've told everybody who'll listen to us that the Craig Stammen we got a chance to know here is going to be in a perfect situation. So we wish you the best.
Helps. We got a lot of good players, so we'll be fine.
No doubt.
That's true.
Craig Stammen joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. And Craig, you get asked pretty much. I'm here every day. You get pretty much asked every day about your lineup. There was a couple times I felt in particular that you were messing with everybody out there.
Why don't you ask him what his lineup's going to be the second game instead of opening day lineup?
We're getting close to that particular time. You haven't really had your whole team as a whole to kind of make that kind of decision, but I would guess that you have at least an idea of where you want to go at this point.
Yeah, I have an idea. Tatis, Machado, Mero are going to bat at the top of the lineup somewhere.
Good thinking, Craig.
I told you I wasn't that smart.
Yeah, touche.
But yeah, I think it's been fun. It's fun to go through spring training and try different lineups, try different things, especially with the guys that were gone for the WBC.
Did that make it a little bit easier to try some things because you kind of were forced to?
It definitely made it a lot easier because there's no way you could write a Padres lineup without Manny and Toddy somewhere in the top four, and so being able to try different people in different spots and just see how they took to leading off or took to batting second or batting third, batting in the middle of the lineup and how that looked in Cactus League games. So try to take all that information in and then make a good decision on opening day.
Craig, talking about, the fact that you've surrounded yourself with people and you're learning and you're asking, but what kind of thing that said? What kind of things did you feel were important for you as Craig Stammen to try to bring to this job and to this position and situation?
You need, and I deem that you don't need draft coverage right now. What you do need is a trip to Adams' Worryometer.
You got it right.
God, it took all day to get it right. Adam Klug put together. Is that the Worryometer?
It's the Worryometer music.
Okay, I like it. It's good music. All right, Adam wants to bring up a bunch of Padres. I'm going to let you kind of run this because it's your idea. I'm going to just play along.
All right, so early
Padre guys that are struggling a little bit, and it's early, so how worried are we, right?
Well, earlier in the show, I gave you the option of big deal, little deal, or no deal, and you said in between little deal and big deal. So I'm not letting you go off the board here. I need an answer.
You want an answer this time?
On a scale from 1 to 10.
Yeah, I like that. 1 to 10. Fair enough.
1 means you couldn't be less concerned.
Okay.
10 means the sky is falling. Start with a big dog, Fernando Tatis Jr. 644 OPS, 0 home runs. Coming on strong as of late, 768 OPS over the last 7 days, hitting the ball very hard. Level of concern on the worryometer about Fernando Tatis Jr.
First of all, played second base again.
He did. Acquitted himself well.
The man is
kind of bobbled a hard hit ball, recouped, stayed with it, threw him out at first base.
I mean, the guy is a pretty good athlete. Let's be honest, right? He should be able to do this. I don't think it's something we can do all the time, though. Secondly, his OPS is 227 points lower than his career. That's a ton.
He's struggling. Slow start.
217, but either way. The Padres can't win with Fernando having 4 doubles and no home runs, but they are winning. They won't continue to. But my worryometer for Fernando, 1 is low.
Correct.
I'm a 3. He's hitting the ball too hard. He's got to get some luck soon. I might have been higher before the weekend, but the way he hit the ball against the Halos, yeah, I'm in on it, man. He is hitting some shots, and they just all get caught.
Got 5 stolen bases, I believe, making things happen on the base path.
6 even.
6?
Yeah, but anyway, I'm going to go 3. I mean, I want the average to come out. I want the ball to leave the ballpark. I bet he does, too. These guys know that they don't have any home runs. Did you want to give a number, or you want me to just do the number?
No, it's the Chris Ello show.
Okay.
Gwynn and Chris.
All right.
I ask the questions, you answer them.
All right.
That's how this thing works. That's how the worryometer doesn't work with too many people, Chris. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Well, right. And now that I figured out that it's actually called the worryometer, I have hope.
All right. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling. We got the big names. Manny Machado hitting 186 on the season with a 300 slugging percentage. His career low in a full season would be 431 slugging, so 131 points lower than his current career low in the slugging department. Has 2 long balls. Worryometer 1 to 10, Manny Machado.
And just when you thought
your Chado.
Yeah, my Chado. Just when you thought that Fernando was in trouble, Manny is 180. I'm doing my addition bad. 192 points lower.
Let's keep in mind the Padres are half a game out of the best record in baseball.
I mean, Fernando's way off. Manny's way off. I can't go higher than a 2, though, for Manny, because I gave up on him totally last year, and he ended up 27 homers, 95 RBIs, 275. How can you expect anything different? He's done it 17 years in a row or 14 years in a row. So I'm going to go 2, but swinging like a rusty gate.
All right. Got a tough one coming for you.
Tougher? Okay.
Jake Cronenworth. We all love him.
Yeah.
Hitting 149 with a 478 OPS. 1 home run, 3 RBIs. Jake Cronenworth, worryometer.
Well, I said it earlier when we had Jay Garegnani on. I liked what Craig Stammen did yesterday. Brought him up as a pinch hitter. And that, to me, is a message. Hey, we believe in you, man. Go up there and get a hit here. We need this. He didn't. He struck out. But I like Stammen trying to help get him out of, a slump, because one big knock there could help do it. I'm at about a 7 on Jake, though. Not swinging it, not making good contact. Numbers have been fading a little bit in the career of Jake Cronenworth. He was 689 and 23, 714. I mean, he's not a 478 OPS. That's 250 points lower again. But I don't think Jake's going to ever be much higher than a 650 to 700 OPS guy. I think he bats 8th and 9th, and we get the most out of him from there. But I'm a 7. I'm concerned. I didn't like how I liked it and I didn't like it. He celebrated getting an infield hit last week as if to say, finally. But I just worry that it's got to be affecting him.
Moving on, we've got Nick Castellanos.
Thanks.
Nick Castellanos went 0 for 4 with 4 Ks on Friday night, hitting 163 with a 450 OPS. I am tired of these 100 batting averages, I have to keep saying. And
can you
400s OPS.
Can you believe they're in first place or almost in first place?
Castellanos has more strikeouts than total bases on the season, 12 to 10.
I expected a lot of strikeouts from Castellanos.
Worryometer, Nick Castellanos.
When he had the 5 RBIs in the 3 games, I was one to jump in there and say, hey, great job. I didn't really, because I didn't boost up Castellanos on the signing. You were there. You remember. You were the one that I argued with. You and I argued mightily. You said he costs nothing. You've got nothing to lose.
Correct.
And I say you have a lot to lose, like the 43 at-bats that he's taken this year that could have gone to somewhere else.
To a Tagovailoa.
Right. We keep doing this argument. But that's my thing. I think it was a dumb signing. I've looked at Castellanos' numbers the last several years. They go down, down, down. I did not expect he would come to Petco Park and they would all of a sudden go up. So my worryometer is no more than a 5 because this is really what I expected. I didn't 7 for 43 with 3 doubles, 450 OPS. He's got a lower one than Jake. I don't expect anything from Castellanos. I think it's time. It's too early yet, and I don't think he's ready yet. But I think you got to cut base with Castellanos. And if I'm wrong, man, I'm going to be the first to admit it because I guarantee you all will remind me of this. But I think it's time to cut loose him and get Sungmun Song in there and see what he can do. I think you need his versatility, and I don't think Castellanos serves you any more than a DH, which we have plenty of.
Moving on to our primary catcher, Freddie Fermin.
Oh, you got more. There's more guys hitting 100?
I hate to say it, I got plenty more. Maybe you aren't super concerned, but Freddie Fermin hitting 182 with a 242 slugging percentage and a 559 OPS. We've got Luis Campusano breathing down his neck for playing time.
Have we even won a game this year based on what you're telling me?
Yes, we have.
God.
Plenty of them, in fact.
I know.
Worryometer, Freddie Fermin.
He's almost in a... I was pleasantly surprised with what he did do last year when he got here. But if you look at Freddie Fermin, he's never really been the everyday guy. He kind of was for Kansas City, maybe a little bit in 2024. Sal Perez did a lot of DHing that year, but 339 at bats is the most. That's about half a season right there, maybe a little more than half. So I don't know that Freddie Fermin is a guy that can take 500 at bats. Never seen it before. Haven't seen a ton of production. So it's similar to Castellanos. I'm not expecting much. 4. I'm not really worried about him.
Okay, good.
Play catcher, do your thing. Castellanos, let him, not Castellanos. Campusano hopefully come in and pick up some slack hitting. Anything for Fermin to me is a bonus.
Okay. Let's move over to the pitching side. Adrian Morejon coming off an all-star season, 6.75 ERA in 10.2 innings, but he's looking like himself recently. His StatCast page is all bright red, which is what you want to see. A lot of the underlying stats favor Adrian Morejon. Worryometer on our
0.
lefty reliever.
0.
Wow. It wasn't even an option. 1 to 10.
Oh, sorry, 1.
Okay. Couldn't be less concerned. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, he had a couple of bad games. I think the one he gave up the 4 run. Again, when you're a reliever and you have one thing where you go a third of an inning, 4 runs, take about 2 months to get that ERA back. So the 4 runs that day, I thought part of it was a result of Sheets not getting to a ball early in that inning. And so it snowballed on him. But he looks pretty good. Last 4 innings, no hits, 1 walk, 5 Ks. He's looking better.
We'll end the Padres Worryometer with 2 names.
2 names.
In the same category.
Okay.
Injured and without a timetable to return.
Real quick, can we just turn up the music on the Worryometer? If you ever in your mind said, whatever that is, what would a Worryometer sound like? I really think that's about what it would sound like. Did you type in sounder for a Worryometer?
This is under Screamy's random bed.
It's so button. Perfect for this. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
2 pitchers injured and without a timetable to return. Nick Pivetta, Joe Musgrove. You can give different answers, but
Pivetta, I'm about a 9. If he comes back, I'm going to be surprised. I've already kind of made peace with that. I don't think Pivetta comes back this year. I hope I'm wrong. I hope April 24th he starts and, he's able to be strong down the stretch. I think Musgrove is just too much of a gamer to sit out much longer. I know that it's the health. It's got to let him come back, but I believe in Joe. 5, maybe 6. Might have gone up a little bit. The reason it's gone up a little bit is because they kind of could use him now, and I'm not really hearing that he's close. So I'm getting a little more worried. But I believe in Joe. I'll be honest with you, the thing that makes me mad about, the whole Musgrove thing is that everybody looked us in the eye when it happened and said it'll be 2 or 3 days and this is to be expected. And that makes me mad. Maybe they were just that wrong. But 2 or 3 days has become 52 or 53 days.
Could I calm you down and make you less mad by jamming out to some random music? That concludes the Padres Worryometer.
I love the Worryometer. That's funny. Good stuff, Adam Klug. Sammy Levitt. He'll probably ease all of our concerns when he joins us next to talk more baseball. NBA scoreboard update for you. Playoffs continuing tonight. Game 2 in Cleveland. Raptors over there. I'm sorry. Ooh, boy, just if you're a Cavs fan, you're just like, what? Cavaliers over the Raptors, 68-55. Third quarter. 7 minutes ago, timeout Raptors. Cavs on a run. Some guy named Donovan Mitchell, 21 points. They just gave him up. Was it the Jazz? Smart move. First quarter, Knicks over your Hawks, Adam, 26-16. 10-point lead in the early going for New York. Counting on the Hawks to get a split here. Jalen Johnson, the best player in the league, according to Adam. 2 points, no rebounds, no assists, 2 turnovers. He's a -8 on the floor.
Don't worry, Chris. The series doesn't start until the road team wins.
Except if you're not unless you're the Hawks, because all 7 games go to the home team, you're out. You've got to win at least one road game somewhere, my friend. Not looking like it's going to be tonight at the moment. Lakers play tomorrow against the Rockets. Kevin Durant practiced about half the practice today, according to his coach. Game time decision tomorrow night. All right. Chris Ello, no Tony, no Scraby today, but Adam has done a great job filling in. Sammy Levitt going to be joining us after traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com.
805 southbound still tough from 8 all the way on to 15. And you're right on 15 south, tough to East San Diego. 183 is heavy southbound, particularly as you head to Balboa Park. I'm Kiffany Wickstrom with K-Frog Traffic.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water.
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? We always bottle our Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source, and all our bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from our own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source.
Chris Ello. That had no ending to that. People out there are like, yes, you know your name. Let's continue with the show. Sam Levitt going to join us here on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking, Sam. It's better. How was your trip to Anaheim, my friend?
Hey, Chris. It was very nice. Had a nice weekend up in Orange County. Nice.
Where did you sleep in Disney's castle there, or did you have a hotel room somewhere?
I slept at the hotel of Michael Noah Levitt. That's where I slept, at my brother's apartment. So I did actually go back and forth from West Hollywood to Anaheim.
Chance to see the brother, though. Good.
Yeah, chance to see my brother. Save our company a little bit of money. Adam Klug a little bit of money. So
he was pleased. I'm sure he was pleased. And I believe he said he's going to take that money and just put it straight into your paycheck. So look for you'll be getting a bump next time, Sam.
Yeah, exactly. But it was good. Good week. And you know what? I like that ballpark.
I do too.
I like that ballpark.
I went there often as a youngster, growing up in the LA area, and I like to drive down there because, frankly, the Angels were nowhere near as popular as the Dodgers, and you could get a much better seat, get a little closer to the action and that whole thing. So I used to go to a lot of Angels games. All right. Is there any truth to the rumor, Sam, that you were behind the dugout there with those Padre fans celebrating wildly for the final outs in the 9th inning? People were going crazy down there.
Yeah, there were a lot of Padres fans there this weekend. Credit to the fans that came up, and I saw on social media, apparently the train from San Diego to Anaheim, because it's pretty convenient. I didn't see where the stop is, but I know it's right there by the stadium.
It is actually in the lot, the stadium lot. Yeah, so it is convenient.
That train was packed. So, yeah, it was noticeable. I'll tell you, I thought especially on Saturday and Sunday, it was really, really noticeable how many Padres fans were there and how loud it got when they scored late in those games and when Mason Miller came in. So credit to the Padres fans. They really brought it, and it was very, very noticeable over the weekend in Anaheim for sure. So shout out to everybody who came up.
Yeah, and they were rewarded with the Padres winning the series. Sam, I am the master of superlatives. You know that. But I'm out of them for Mason Miller. I got nothing. I keep reading statistics, and each one is better than the next. So I'll let you try to put it into some perspective what we're seeing right now. I've got to believe just the normal course of life, he's going to eventually give up a hit or a run or something. But what are you seeing? What are the players saying about it? Like some of his teammates, I would imagine, are a little blown away right now.
Yeah, and the manager, too, who certainly knows what it takes to be a reliever in the major leagues. I think quite simply these guys have never seen anything like it. That's the predominant thought when you talk to guys inside that clubhouse, how good he is, how dominant he's been. But I think in talking to guys about it as well, I think they also acknowledge that Mason is a really hard worker. Like it's not just the talent. It's not just the raw stuff. It's the way he prepares. It's what he's done to get to this point in his career. Obviously, there's a ton of natural ability there as well when you throw as hard as he throws, and obviously have the off-speed stuff that he has. But they all acknowledge that it's beyond that. I mean, it's the preparation, it's the consistency, all the things that it takes to be on this kind of run. And I don't know that any of these guys have really seen anything like it. So he actually looked a little bit human on Saturday when he allowed a hit and walked the batter. And you're like, what's going on? Yeah, you're like, he actually looks a little human. But I'll tell you this, I thought the games on Saturday and Sunday in particular, Chris, were such a good example for forgetting even the run that he's on, having that dominant of a closer that right now just feels totally automatic in the ninth inning. It does shorten the game when you're in a close game like that. And when the Padres, take a lead late, like they did on both Saturday and Sunday, or extend the lead on Sunday, it does make you feel like, hey, if we can just get through the eighth inning, we know in the ninth inning, there's a pretty darn good chance this game is over. So it does shorten the game. Their bullpen, I thought, was on full display over the course of the last 2 days. And
I really liked Bradley yesterday, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was huge, Chris. I talked about it a lot post-game. Number one, he was terrific. The 5 outs he got and getting out of the jam in the seventh inning yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought, because it was pretty clear when Bradley came in, and honestly, when they went to Marinaccio in the 6th inning, I thought it was pretty clear that they were going to try to stay away from Morahone and Adam, which is fair. It's a long season, and I get there are games and there are times where you're going to want to stay away from those guys. So I thought it was a clear opportunity and ask of Bradley Rodriguez to say, hey, this is a big spot in a really close game. He got 5 outs against the very top 6 hitters in the Angels lineup. The only guy he didn't retire was Trout, who they intentionally walked yesterday. So he was, I mean, when you really think about it, Chris,
great job.
He essentially went 5 up, 5 down as far as the outs recorded, because the one guy he didn't retire was Trout with the intentional walk, and it was clear early in that plate appearance that they were pretty much pitching around him. But I thought it was a big opportunity for Bradley, and to me, like yesterday, I think in the big picture of his season, and who knows, maybe even in his career, to me yesterday, he elevated himself into, I'm not going to put him quite in the Morahone, Adam, Miller stratosphere, because I think those 3 guys in particular are in a class of their own and sort of a high leverage group of their own. But I'll tell you what, the way Bradley has pitched and what he did yesterday, to me, he's right there below him. I mean, he's just a cut below, and I would not be surprised if they give him big time late inning. You're working with a small lead, high leverage opportunities, because that's what that was yesterday. And to me, he passed with flying colors. I thought it was a really big day for him.
I agree. Sam Levitt is with us. Padres are idle today. They got the mighty Rockies tomorrow in Denver. Rockies taking 2 out of 3 so far from the Dodgers. They play one more game tonight. And Sam's joining us here on the program. All right, the last segment, Sam, before you came on, Adam Klug brought out the Worryometer. And if you don't know what the Worryometer is, Sam, let me give you a little music to help kind of make you get in the mood for the Worryometer. Here is what we go with here. Is that the same music?
No, it's not, because it's a rotator, so it's one button that's filled with a bunch of different music beds, and so it's not going to be the same one each time.
Again. Oh, anyway. All right, that's not important, Sam. What is important is actually the worryometer. We do have some superstars hitting under 200. We do have one superstar in particular who's hitting over 250, but has not yet registered any kind of slug. We do have, even a couple guys on the pitching staff that aren't, as lights out as they had been. And I think there's two things. One, it's great that they're 15-7 despite that. But it's also a little worrisome because if this continues, you and I and everybody probably knows, team not going to be able to keep up this pace without the contributions from the big dogs. So where are you on the worryometer, Sam? I'm not going to give you each player like Adam gave me, but just kind of in a general sense on some of these guys.
Well, I think my worryometer, despite them being 15-7, which is a terrific start. They're off to a great start. They're playing very good baseball, and they're quite simply figuring out ways to win. I'm not telling you anything or any of the listeners something they don't know. Despite the good start, I'll put it at a 5. Okay. And that might seem high based on how they're playing. But the reason I have it at a 5, Chris, is not because of the offense. And yes, you're totally right. They are sort of amazingly 15-7, despite a lot of the big guys not playing all that well yet. Manny and Fernando and Jake Cronenworth, and Xander's been good, and Jackson's been a little bit up and down, but has come up obviously with some big hits. They're sort of amazingly 15-7, which I think's a great thing because you're kind of sitting here saying, well, man, they're playing really well and they're winning a lot of games, and it doesn't feel like the big guys have really kicked it into gear yet. But the main reason I put 5 points on the worryometer on a scale of 1 to 10 is just because of the state of the starting rotation. And look, they have found ways. However, when you talk about Nick Pivetta being out for a considerable amount of time, when you talk about Joe Musgrove, it's still being a little bit unclear on what his timetable is going to be and when he returns. I still think over the course of 162, they are going to have to figure out this starting rotation and have multiple guys step up and perform at a really high level, whether you're talking about a Walker Buehler or a German Marquez or a Matt Waldron or a JP Sears if he comes up and gets starts. Griffin Canning is getting close. They're going to rely on him a lot. To me, in the big picture, as we sit here on April 20th, I think it's fair to still have some pretty serious concern and questions about how this is all going to go in the rotation over the course of 162, because I just think, to me, that's a big picture. I don't want to say problem, but a big picture item that they're going to have to figure out over the course of the season. And the reality is they're going to have to figure it out for a while with no Pivetta, and Joe's not going to be back still for a while, right? Until we start seeing him, pitch in sim games and be on a minor league rehab assignment. We're not going to know what his timetable is. So I still do, and I think it's fair, I still do have some concern about this rotation and the idea that they're just going to be asking, Chris, a lot of guys to pitch well and step up. And the depth of this starting rotation and the starting pitching is going to be tested in a real way here, I think, for the next couple of months.
Sammy Levitt is with us. I got time for one more, Sam, and then you can go off into the evening. On the hitting side, I don't have any real concern about Manny. Every time I get concerned, he breaks out of it. So maybe I do need to get concerned so that he will break out of it. Fernando's hitting the ball hard. A lot of bad luck.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with Jake. I got to have Jake as part of this thing. He's too much of a gamer.
Yeah.
But 149, even he's got to be feeling it. You can almost see some of his reactions out there. It's only April 20th, but he's still a human being. It's got to be eating at him right now.
Yeah. And you feel for Jake, because I know we're all big fans of Jake Cronenworth, but he has not hit the ball well.
Yeah.
I think when you think about how well Andujar has played, I think Castellanos has been up and down. He's in a cold stretch right now, but before that had actually hit the ball hard, and you could argue should have a home run or two at this point if he was playing in a different park or a little bit later in the year. And then when you see Tatis going and playing second base, it does make you wonder a little bit of, man, if Jake doesn't get it going, do you start sitting him at times? Not that he's not going to be a part of what you do.
Yeah.
But I do think if he doesn't get it going here in the near future, I think he deserves some leash to get it going. I think he's earned that. With how Tatis is playing, or I should say Tatis playing second base and Duhar hitting and Ty
you could put
France.
Ty France.
Yeah, Ty France. I mean, look, I think Craig Stammen has done a really good job at engaging guys and getting everybody involved. I think it's been great. And I also think guys have done a nice opportunity, whether it's Andujar or France or Bryce Johnson was a great example of it yesterday of when they get opportunities contributing. And look, I don't know if they're at that point yet where you would start thinking about, hey, is Jake going to sit, a couple days a week, a few days a week? Because we got to get these other guys in. If he doesn't start hitting, I don't know that they're there yet. I doubt it, based on, I think, Jake's tenure with this team and kind of, the feel I have of kind of the situation. But yeah, I think it would be nice for Jake to get it going offensively, because you're right, Chris. I think it will get harder and harder to keep guys out of the lineup, the likes of Andujar, the likes of France, even a Bryce Johnson. I mean, it will get harder, and especially with Tatis now having the ability to go to second base, it'll get harder to keep guys out of the lineup if Jake is struggling and other guys, when they get opportunities, are performing. Yeah.
Sam Levitt's pregame show is at 4:40 tomorrow afternoon. I hope all of you can handle it and go 22 and a half hours without hearing from him. But that's how long you're going to have to do it. Either that or go listen to one of his podcasts or replay of his postgame show or something.
Yeah, can I actually? I'll do a quick. I'll do it because we're trying to do. I'm trying to do a better job of getting the pregame interviews up there.
Okay.
And I will say, great. You'll like this, Chris. Great interview I had yesterday with Mark Langston, 1998 Padre, Angels radio analyst. He told some great stories about his season in 1998. That's on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast. Fan favorite Kirby Yates. I talked to him on Saturday. He's on the podcast as well. Those were pregame interviews we did the last couple of days, and both were really good. And I think a lot of longtime Padres fans will enjoy that Mark Langston conversation in particular. So
any
a lot
mention
of good stuff to hold you over.
Any mention of the fastball down the middle of Tino?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If only we had ABS.
Yeah.
If only we had ABS then.
All right, Sam. We'll see you tomorrow, man. Thanks for everything. Postgame or pregame tomorrow with Sam. We're out of here. So thanks for taking us to the wire.
All right.
See you later, Sammy Levitt. And we'll see all of you later. Unfortunately, there's no Scraby Chronicles today because there is no Scraby today. We'll be back tomorrow, all of us, Tony and myself and Mr. Scraby. Adam Klug could not have done better. The Worryometer is forever etched in Gwynn and Chris lore. Good job. Thank you so much. Hawks have closed within 1 point, by the way. So we're going to send you out of here.
All people should know. Everyone goes on a run in the NBA.
True that. We're going to send you home on that happy note, and then enjoy the rest of the evening, everyone. From all of us here at 97.3 The Fan, Chris Ello, adios.